6, Northern Terrafly runway heading, runway 5. Clear for takeoff.
From Psychic Sundays to ET Contact and everything in between, this is Spaced Out Sunday's Cosmic Passport with host Elizabeth Anglin.
Check it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'd be great. So guys, smoke now.
You can connect with Elizabeth on Skype at 505-908-9558 and Spirit for Peace. Follow Liz on Twitter at Elizabeth Anglin and hashtag SpacedOutRadio. And you can connect with us on the web at spacedoutradio.com.
I feel the need for speed.
You feel it over and over again. We take you higher and higher and higher. You feel it over and over again.
Chillers, we're now. Smoke off now.
This is the love we live again.
Chillers, we need more than an hour. Contact. Easing up. Chillers, we're now. We're now. One left.
Don't look much like Los Angeles to me. I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
Now taking you on a spiritual journey from the desert of New Mexico this Sunday night, here's Spaced Out Sunday's Cosmic Passport with Elizabeth Anglin.
Chillers, ready to take it back. Contact. Chillers, turn now. Smoke off now. Chillers, ready to take away drive. Now. Chillers, turn now.
Good evening and welcome to Spaced Out Radio's Cosmic Passport and Psychic Sunday. I am your host, Elizabeth Anglin, coming to you from the Spaced Out Radio Cosmic Cruise Mobile. We are coming to you live from the stormy, windy, wild, and wonderful desert Southwest, specifically the art colony hippie commune of Madrid, New Mexico. And we do that every Sunday night here at spacedoutradio.com. Don't forget the hippies and the communes, because, hey, we are here for you. For all of you listening in from around North America and the world, I want to welcome you, especially everyone at WQEE 99 Rock the Key in Noonan, Georgia, at spacedoutradio.com, on the United Public Radio Network, and on thefringe.fm. We also want to thank our guitar god, Ron Bumblefoot THAL, formerly of Guns N' Roses, currently of Art of Anarchy, for creating the music that makes Spaced Out Radio rock, the official Spaced Out Radio music. If you want, you can check us out on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. You can give our Facebook page a like at Spaced Out Radio. On Facebook, you can follow me at Cosmic Passport with Elizabeth Anglin, or just Elizabeth Anglin. I'm the Elizabeth Anglin with the cowboy hat. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio. Tune us in on TuneIn and download our shows from iTunes. We are also on RadioGuide.fm, TalkStream Live, and on Stitcher. And, of course, our website is spacedoutradio.com. If you go to patreon.com, we have some cool offers for you, our listeners, there as well. Make sure you check those out. And if you want to take part in the show, you'll have to sign in to one of our chat rooms on Spreaker or on the chat room on Facebook at the SOR Space Travelers Club. Please check out our news section, The Encounter, that deals with everything paranormal. And you can check out Dave Scott's latest blog there as well. And we've got some really cool videos from UFO seekers and the amazing Tim Doyle on the Spaced Out Radio website as well. If you've had an experience you can't explain, fill out an SOR Sightlines report. Our researchers are ready to help you find out what's going on. Again, a big thanks to everyone listening on WQEE 99 Rock the Key, 99 Rock the Key at the Spaced Out Radio family in Georgia. Thanks for sharing your time with us, and everyone at UPRN. Thank you so much for being here. And the Fringe.fm, hey, we love you guys. Thank you so much for coming on with us tonight. Well, I am so excited. I have a brilliant podcaster and astrologist, Hillory Skott, coming to us from Vancouver. And Hillory is going to talk to us tonight about holistic astrology, but also all of the really intense things that have been happening in the past month with lunar eclipses, solar eclipses, and do some projections for the month ahead for us. So, Hillory, I've been reading all of the things that you've been doing. I'm so pleased to have you here. Thank you for coming on, and thank you for telling us what's going on with the stars lately. This is really intense stuff, isn't it? Okay. Hey, I just wanted to check your sound because when you're talking, I'm not seeing anything. Guys on the list, do you hear Hillory? Give me a shout. Hillory, give me also a shout. I can hear you, but for whatever reason, it appears that it appears that we can't get you. Oh, okay. Hold on one second. Okay. Hi, everyone. I am doing silly things with my Spreaker Studio just to make sure that we can get Hillory on here. I can hear her, but nobody else can hear her. So it is a problematic situation. Okay, Hillory, talk a little bit. Hi. Nope. Nothing. Okay. No, we've never had this issue before. This is completely new and unusual situation, Hillory. Okay, Joseph said he just heard you just fine. Oh, okay. Oh, he says you're quiet. No, you'll be. Let me turn you up. Yeah, I can't believe he heard you because I've got no levels for you over here. Hold on. Okay, so now they're saying turn you up. Yeah. So let's see what I've done speakers. Okay, Ron's got no Hillory. Okay. Okay. Try your Yeti mic, my dear. And are you at the one that's to the farthest? Like if it's pointed towards you, is it like at 2:00? The far one far. Yeah, the little back guys. Okay, that's the. Yeah. I can't believe some of you can hear her because she's got no levels over here, so I really don't believe you. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Try HD audio windows. How are you doing? Technology, wherefore art thou when we need you? Yeah. I can hear you. Some people can hear you, but the sound levels on the thing are they say you're very faint. Okay. All right. Hold on a sec.
Now what about, okay, I just turned my microphone, like, the Yeti part way up. Do I sound better now? Now I sound really loud for phone.
I don't know. I'll have to see when they get... I'm still not getting any levels in the studio for you, which is really weird.
Should I try calling back or something?
Check your Skype, what your microphone is in Skype.
I just did, and it says Yeti, and it says that it can hear me, like I can see the levels moving and everything.
Okay. Yeah, let me call you back. I'm going to call you back. Yeah, have I tried reconfiguring the power couplings? That's very funny. Okay. Yeah, we're going to reconfigure Hillory's power couplings. Have no idea what's going on with this whatsoever. So, sorry guys. I don't know why it's not picking her up the way it should. Hey there. Let me just... I can still hear you, but and it's actually, it sounds good. I see. Okay. Here we go. Hi guys, I'm still here.
I'm also here.
Okay, no, that doesn't make any sense either. So Skype is doing shenanigans. Shenanigans from the Skype. Shenanigans, I tell you. It changed out of what it needed to be in. And that is not a good thing. Okay. It moved cable. Yeah, it moved cable outlet. And I can hear you just fine. Can you not? Okay. Don't do anything. Don't go anywhere. Audio settings. Okay, now I should be back.
Are you?
This is craziness. This is absolute and utter craziness.
So nobody can hear me.
Well, Skype can't hear you, which is problematic. And when I set it to the right setting, yeah, Ron, when I see you, I'm gonna kick you. So.
Oh, Paisley just sent me a little message and said she can hear me.
Now you're on. Now you're on. But the weird thing is that I don't have you in my headset. So hold on a sec.
Okay.
Oh, I know why I don't have you in the headset.
Is your headset plugged into your mic?
Yeah. Okay, now we're good. Okay, talk.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm talking.
Again, it is Skype shenanigans. Do not give me any crap for that. I set my Skype settings accordingly. I got on the phone with her, and Skype decided to set them over again. So it was actually my Skype settings, not Hillory. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so about all that weird stuff, Mercury is not retrograde. I know that much. No,
Mercury is not. Although this is classic Mercury retrograde kind of shenanigans.
Yeah, but it's not. It just happens to me. So I must have been born under it. Okay, so tell us what's been going on. We had those crazy things in August, and then we had some really strong moon energy in Leo, and now what's going on with astrology right now?
Well, we had the major at the end of January, on January 31st, was kind of like the bookend to the crazy solar eclipse that we had in August. So it's very having to do with coming from the heart, finding your true path, being who you really are in the world. That kind of, the universe is trying to reconfigure things so that we are coming from a heart-centered place. So everything that goes on around us in situations like that is usually trying to basically kind of bring out the more authentic you. So it's the bookend from that is happening now. So whatever happened in the last 6 months, you'll be able to kind of get a theme for what's changed in your life. And often the eclipses will bring in big changes. And if they don't immediately unfold, it's usually something you'll see unfold over the following 6 months.
Okay.
So, did you have any kind of major stuff going down in that period?
Did I have any major stuff going down in that period? Well, the August stuff was really intense. I ended up in the hospital.
Oh.
And the thing that had been wrong with me that didn't get solved when I first found out about it in December did basically get solved. And what was interesting is it got solved in the way that my guide said. They said, you need a little pill, and that's all you need. And that's what I got, and that worked. And then, and I could do surgery, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just take the little pill. So, and I got the right one. So that happened. But then in the beginning of the month, like some, things that needed to end just ended. They were done.
Right.
And something, whatever it was, it brought it to a head, and it ended very quickly and very completely. And now what it was a friendship, but now what's happening is I have like new friendships coming in.
And the friendships quickly ended in like August, or just the recent eclipses?
In the recent eclipses.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and now this month I'm like meeting new people, and I'm having new friendships. So, that's kind of, it seems like new energy, like things ended at the beginning of the month, and then new energy came in within like 10 days.
Oh, nice.
After that. So,
well, and so did you have any, there was the eclipse on the 15th, the solar eclipse new moon. So is that around the time when the new stuff kind of came in?
Yeah.
Like where you were able to see? Or
Yes.
the ending was very final, like you were able to see that it was definitely over?
The ending was, the ending was before that, about a week before, but the beginning of the end was like 2 days before the lunar eclipse stuff. 2 or 3 days before that, and then the ending was just after that. It was like, no, let's just do this. Let's just make this be over.
Right.
And then, I started getting asked out on dates like right after that. So,
that's nice.
So,
and it should be like with the eclipse that was on the 15th. The solar eclipse was in Aquarius, and Aquarius is a real blessing when you want to detach from something. So it can help you like move away from situations faster and easier than might otherwise be the case. So that's a kind of a lucky thing. Come in and like make it easy,
Yeah. Just sort of like, don't even think about it. It's not a thing, and then just move on. That's what it's felt like.
So nice. Yeah. Very nice energy. So then you can relate then. There's some stuff changing.
Yeah, definitely. Things are moving and changing, but it was a really intense year, and the stuff in August really, it threw me for a loop. And
it was health related, you said.
Well, I think it was health and relationship related, but
right.
There was so much health stuff going on that sort of obliterated everything else. So,
right. That's common too around eclipses, like health stuff that's been hidden or that needs to be addressed will often be brought to the surface so you can deal with it. So in that regard, it's good, but can also be really stressful, right? Like, the stuff that goes down isn't always easy.
Yeah, it wasn't very easy. So with what would you say for people going forward out of this month? Like just in general, what would you tell people to look to?
Like going forward out of February into March kind of thing?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that now that everybody's kind of through the eclipse portal, we're on the other side and able to integrate what's gone on, what's happened. And with this Virgo, we have a Virgo new moon coming up just on the 2nd. Does it work out to be the 2nd? Well, it's the 1st and the 2nd, depending on where you are. So Thursday, that moon will be, it's kind of a very blessed new moon that will help you integrate everything that you've gone through. And Virgo is very kind of particular and very fastidious, and they're really careful, like very oftentimes they're like medical intuitives. They can really tune in to the body and know what the body needs. And often from a natural perspective too, like whatever natural remedies might work will be brought to light with the Virgo energy. Just the way to kind of refine all of the systems. So what we went through could have been pretty disorienting, and then now we're through it and things are different and we can integrate. There is confusion with this moon though, because there's a lot of Piscean energy. There's a bunch of planets in Pisces, and then also Neptune, which is ruled by Pisces, is opposing everything. So even though there's this like fastidious, clear, organized energy trying to function, there's also this very dreamy, tuned into the cosmos, tapping into other worlds energy opposing it. So it's like a push-pull of practical and nonsensical, or like practical and like completely illogical. So it can be kind of confusing for people. And some people process it in practical ways and are able to create great works of art and music and bring all this sort of imaginary world into reality. And other people just like feel confused and tired, and like deceit can be part of it, where things aren't clear and you don't really know what's going on. So there's that kind of both of those energies at play during this moon on Thursday, but there's also a Saturn energy tied in that is making a practical opportunity for us to tap into this. So what I would say coming out of February is you've probably know exactly which direction to head now, and you've sorted some things out and you are more true to who you really are. And now you need to move forward and create like the routines necessary to lay the foundation. And with a lot of heart and imagination as well, like a lot of like bring in your mystical spirit guides and your teams from the other realms to help you, because you can get there a lot faster and easier when you're tapping into all that.
So this makes sense, because last week what came up was I was told by friends in spirit, since I'm a spirit medium, that I have not been organizing my creative stuff enough. And what they said is you need to get a project list, a to-do list, and you need to work to it, because everything was all up in my head. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, I know I need to do this. I know I need to do that. I know I need to do that. And then it would all be up in my head, and I'd just get overwhelmed and be like, I'm going to watch Netflix.
Right. Oh, thank God for Netflix.
Netflix is going to save me from my self-imposed project stress.
Right.
And so I got Evernote, and I started making Evernote lists and to-do lists. But literally I have a book I need to start working on. And I have all of this documentation for the book from its research I did way back in the day. And I have all this documentation, and I have a timeline for it. I have a rough outline. So would this be a good time for me to flesh out that outline and put
totally
the documentation together, and then put the sort of artistry and emotion into it? Would that make sense?
Yes, it would be like an ideal time, because there is, and also like the saving grace with this. Well, there's a couple really good energies on this full moon. There's a trine between Venus and Jupiter. So Venus is what we value and our relationships and love, and Jupiter is expanding, and it's like the benevolent kind of lucky energy. And they're in a trine together. So it's very like poetic and idealistic, like very philosophical even, could be like connecting with the world through writing, and ideas and philosophies come into it. And then also with Saturn there, it gives you, like Saturn is our discipline and our ability to focus and do the routine and keep showing up over and over again, which is usually what makes something successful, right? You've just got to, you got to keep plugging away at it. You've got to keep showing up and keep kind of doing it. So yes, if you're more of like a person that's up in your head where all the ideas are and connecting to the cosmos and stuff, you need that Saturn energy to help you bring it down to earth and make it real in reality. So yeah, very good time for that, for all kinds of creative projects that need to be brought to earth. And also, like you said, the detailing, the like all the little details. There could be a bit of like struggle where the Netflix self will kind of try to like be like, come on, let's just watch this for a little while or whatever. So because Pisces is kind of a dreamy energy, right? It doesn't really like the hard work part of it. So but it's also the one bringing the ideas in, right? Like the beautiful shimmery ideas. So it's a tricky, it's like watering, it's like wrestling water, right? It's hard to get a hold of it and like make it do what you want. But Saturn will give you the container, if you will, to put it in. So yeah, that's a perfect example.
Okay. So if I tell you my numbers or my dates, can you look ahead for me? Because, it's all about me, like I told you before the show. Everybody's like, it's not really all about me. But if I give you my birthday, can you look my stuff up?
Yeah, I can give you, I'll do that. Give me let's add you here. So, okay. When is your birthday?
All right. It's actually okay. So you guys are not going to steal my identity, are you? Let me see if I can write it.
Can you just?
Are you looking at the chat room?
I'm not looking at the chat room, but you could. Do you have your the Facebook chat we were in? You could send it to me that way.
I'll send it to you because it's 1/11. It's January 11, and I'll do the rest on Facebook. And I am. I won't tell you how old I am, but I was born at 9:10 or 9:11 in the morning on 1/11.
I'm going to give you 11.
In Adrian, Michigan.
Okay. So I do need the year.
Okay.
Can you send that to me? Oh yeah, you did. I see it there. Okay.
Yeah.
And you were born in the U.S. Adrian? Mm-hmm. Adrian. Is it? Oh, there it is.
Yeah. And,
oh my gosh, there's lots of Adrians.
It's like the one in the Mitten State.
Right. Okay. I? Okay. The Mitten State.
And Paisley is from right across the river in. Oh gosh, is it? I can't even remember the town Paisley. I'm so sorry, but we literally grew up like an hour away from each other and didn't know it.
Oh wow! Hey,
yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, she was just on the Canadian side.
Yeah, I mean, it's like another world over here in Canada.
Yeah.
We've got toques and mucklucks and all kinds of things.
Oh, I had mucklucks. Oh, yeah. No.
Oh, you did? Oh, I had mucklucks. You don't live in the snowy prairies and not get yourself a pair of mucklucks.
No, and the entire, igloo attire. I had the muckluck, and then what is the thing on the top the hat, the coat that the Eskimos used.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
not an anorak. It's something else, but it was awesome. Yeah, it was.
You had the whole thing, hey?
I had the whole thing.
Did you have a doll? There was those little dolls that had the whole outfit. I was like,
no, that's a Canadian thing. They didn't. They didn't allow those into the U.S. No, there were things like you guys. We would go on vacation, and you guys would have like great cheese, and we didn't. At least in Ontario, there were like cheese shops that had real cheddar cheese, and we had American cheese.
I wonder if that's the French, like the European influence coming through.
I think it's just that Midwestern food, by and large, is. By the time I got born after World War II, it was just crap.
It already turned to shit. It was all coming in boxes and cans, and that was it.
And pasteurized.
And we were fooled into thinking it was the best thing ever.
Yeah, exactly. Give me a cheese slice.
Oh my goodness. So okay, I've got your stuff up here. So what do you want to know? Because there's so much to talk about when you're looking at a birth chart. Have you had your chart done before, so you know your stuff?
I know. Well, I don't ever remember it, but I know some basic things. But I want to know about, of course, always relationships. So relationships. How's this year look for a new relationship?
I think that this year looks fantastic for a new relationship because the part of your chart that has to do with relationships has the North Node traveling through it right now. So that's the North Node is where we look to see what the soul is kind of evolving, like trying to evolve into. Mm-hmm. So having just crossed into your 7th house of relationships, I imagine the getting rid of the old relationships were like a necessary to draw in new things that are more resonant with who you're trying to become. That's probably why that went down. And now you're open for the new stuff to come in. I would say that this is a very positive year for you to get involved in relationships. And it's interesting because you do have the house of relationships, what's called intercepted, which means there's two different signs that in this house for you. One of them is Leo and one of them is Virgo. So are you drawn to Leo and Virgo characters?
Oh my God. Yes. It's terrible. I like
Which part? The Virgo or the Leo?
No, it just, they trade off. And lately it's been Leo. Like in the past 10 years, it's been Leo. Before that, it was Virgos. And then I've also, I'm a Capricorn. So like literally I've dated Gemini once, Capricorn twice or three times, Virgo 3 times. Oh God, I'm telling you about all my... And then I was like seriously interested in it. And then I lived with a Leo for 7 years, but it wasn't romantic on my side. It was on his, which was bad.
Oh.
And then which is always bad for a Leo. And then I was interested in a Leo again, a double Leo. So... That's not a good thing. So
it's tricky for you being a Capricorn so you're a Capricorn with a Virgo moon and a Capricorn Mercury. So you're very Capricorn and very earthy, but also airy as well. Because you have the Venus and Mars in Aquarius, and your rising sign is Aquarius as well. So it's a kind of like, I imagine that the relationship with the Leo energy isn't that easy. Probably. It's not like that harmonious.
No, because it's always sort of like, goat butts lion. You know, lion gets all proud and goat says, "Here, watch this." Poof. So, it's like
it's very different energy.
Yeah. You think you're all that, watch this. Poof. Yeah, and it doesn't work out very well. So.
No. Well, they actually kind of square each other, right? So they have totally different values. That's the tricky part, is the values of those energies are very different. And having similar values is what makes relationships work, right? Otherwise, it's just like always button heads with each other. But it is tricky. Like you've got the Leo in this area, so you're drawn to the Leo energy, but it wouldn't be an easy relationship for you to have a long-term, like an easy energy to have. It wouldn't be a harmonious long-term relationship. It would be tricky, which I mean, ideally relationships are tricky anyway, but like, let's get one where we're like, at least have compatible energies, and then we're kind of working together. Right. But then you have your other part of your chart, like the other part of the house is Virgo, and you have a bunch of stuff there too. Like you have Pluto there and Uranus and the moon all fused together in this one area. So you're very much affected by this full moon. It's very, like, it's pulling right on you. Do you feel that? Are you feeling?
Yes, because like everything.
Pressure?
Well, like last week it was get your crap together, start working on your book. You need to start organizing everything. You've just been sort of waffling around in your head, and no, there is no other time but now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. And and I also have a shop, and like I have new stock, and today I was sitting there, like I so totally get what you said about the Pisces stuff, because I'm pricing things and I do a reading, and then I go to price things, and I price things for like 2 hours, and then I just end up stopping and staring off into space.
Lying on the floor, looking at the ceiling.
Going, whoa, man, this is so crazy. I don't know what's going on. And then I played the piano, and I played the piano better than I played it in about 6 months.
I bet.
And it was like, okay, well, this is cool. It's very flowing. But nobody came in. It was like somebody came up to the door, saw that I was playing the piano, I guess understood then that somebody was actually playing the piano. It wasn't a tape. And then left again, and I was like, okay, I'll just play the piano some more, and that was my day. But it was funny because I could do two hours of focused pricing, inventory, and then it was just like, no more. I cannot do another second of this. I like. It's linear, it involves numbers, and it's responsible. Get me out of here.
Right. It's probably like a regular issue for you, because you have in your own chart right now where all these planets, there's the Sun, Neptune, Mercury, and Venus, and Chiron, all activating your own Saturn Chiron conjunction in your chart. And Saturn is like the part that will, like, it can be like it can be the hard part because it's the disciplinary in our own mind. So it can make us worry. It can make us fearful. It can be mean to us, like, and when we need discipline or like things to be stricter. So it can be like a naysaying, difficult energy in our own head that wants to like drive us to get finished. But it's in Pisces with you too. So it's maybe even trickier to get it to like to the discipline part. It could be tricky, but really important. So this swinging back and forth between, also you have all this Virgo energy. So you have the ability to be really detailed and really orderly, and then back and forth. So do you feel that? Do you go through that regularly?
Well, yeah, because, and actually I had one astrologist tell me, well, you can organize people who are disorganized, and you can disorganize people who are organized. And I went, yeah, that's
interesting.
And she said, so for people who are too tight and too constricted and too disciplined, you will break up their structure. But for people who are not, you will add structure. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that. And you know, unfortunately, it's just been me lately. So it does swing back and forth between the two. Like, I am really super organized. I'm top of it. I'm getting 25 things done today. Yeah. And then it's just like, forget it. You know,
yeah.
I don't want to do anything. Just give me the Netflix and Binky and my dog, and you know,
give me the Netflix. What kind of dog do you have?
I have a Tibetan Mastiff Collie mix.
Beautiful. So a big dog.
He's a big dog. Yeah, he's 105 pounds. Yeah.
Congratulations on your dog.
Yeah.
So lucky to have him.
Yeah, I love dogs. So
yeah,
and so, well, let's talk about you. We've talked about me and my sort of, you know, swinging from, you know, scattered to organized. What made you interested in astrology, and how did you get to be doing this work?
I was in my early 20s, and I had been taken for a tarot card reading, and I had never really touched base with this information before. I guess I was like 20 or 21 years old. And I was like, wow, that is amazing that this could be so accurate. Like, I was really drawn to it. And I was kind of struggling at the time, because it's hard to be that age, right? There's like, you feel, I'm a Capricorn too. So there's always this sense that you're supposed to do something important. There's something important that you're supposed to do. So it's really hard to be an adolescent and a youth and a young adult when you're a Capricorn, because nothing that you can do in the world really matches what you feel like you should be able to do in the world.
Yes.
So I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes.
So, but I did decide that I was going to study tarot cards, and I was going to be self-employed, which is a very Capricorn thing as well, and read tarot cards for a living at that age. So I did. I actually studied up and started reading in this adorable little cafe in the middle of Canada in Winnipeg, and I had a knack for it. I was kind of talented at it, and I had no idea like that I was going to be good at it, but I started to develop my intuition, and I'd say things to people that I didn't know where it was coming from, what I was saying, but it would be really helpful. And around that time, I was also learning about numerology and, you know, essential oils and crystals and, you know, with the Hermetic traditions and paganism and all those things. And I came across a book about, it was called Star Signs, and it had all these little secrets of the universe in it by Linda Goodman. And it had a section on astrology that really resonated with me, and I couldn't believe how accurate it was. So from that point on, I studied, and there comes a point with astrology too, because at first you just see, you know, the signs and the 12 signs of the zodiac, and you don't realize that it's got this like ancient history with all this deep, complicated information and techniques and symbolism, and it's really a language. And so it is a lifetime study. I don't think anybody who starts to learn about astrology does it, and like, if you're going to do it for your life, it's a lifetime study. So around 27 or so, I made the commitment to really put my all into it. And it took me probably another 6 years before I was actually able to really work for people and start writing about it as well, and now podcasting as well. So that was kind of how I found my way.
And you sound like okay, I hate to be ubiquitous, but you sound like a typical Capricorn. I mean, a Capricorn says, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this until I do it really well. And, oh, wait, that's something new, and I'll look into that, and then I'll do that until I do it really well. But, you know, it seems like you've been doing this for a long time now, but you started young and said, this is what I'm going to do.
Yes.
So...
Yeah, I mean, it took me a little while. It took me till around my Saturn return, like around 27, where, like, I made a commitment. It required a commitment, I think, for it to, you know, for it to actually become something that was useful to others and like, good for me and something, you know, worthy of the time and energy that it took. So, yeah, very typical Capricorn in that way. And also, like, I feel very honored to do the work. It's very special work, and I'm grateful for it. So that's kind of a Capricorn thing too, right? We want to have like work that's special.
Right. Well, and Capricorns are, okay, tell me if you believe this or not, because we're going to give some Capricorns some love. If you're a Capricorn out there, we're going to love on you because we're Capricorns. But don't we have a sort of innate intuitive sense that makes us good at things like writing music, for example, like music just comes, or working with tarot cards, or working intuitively with astrology. It seems to me that Capricorns can organize it, like they can go up into the astral and the ether and have it come down and make it all earthy and organized and make sense.
Yes, that is very true. That's and I actually have Saturn in my 12th house, so it's the Capricorn ruler. And the 12th house is this like astrology and like mediumship and channeling. And it does help you take this very confusing information and bring it into some structure for sure. That's definitely a Capricorn. And it's the sea goat, right? So there's part of us that's very practical. And then another part that's very much like tapped into the cosmos and otherworldly type topics and things like that.
Okay, so before you became a tarot card reader and astrology chart reader, did you grow up on a farm? What was your life like before?
That's funny. Did you grow up on a farm? I don't know. Did you grow up on a farm?
I did. And there were horses and dogs, and
awesome.
Lots of them.
No, I did not grow up on a farm, although I dreamed of growing up on a farm. I would have loved to have grown up on a farm. In fact, when I grew up and had my baby, we basically had a little farm for quite a while. And then I realized how much work a farm is, which was also a form of growing up. Right. But no, I grew up I was given up for adoption. So I was an adopted kid. And my little brother came around when I was about 6, and my parents had him. And they moved around a lot. So I was a kid that moved a lot. I was like very unsettled, because Capricorns don't like to be unsettled. They like to be very settled. So I was very unsettled as a child. And moved, I went to like 11 different elementary schools, so like 2 schools a year. It was very unsettled childhood with kind of difficult relationships. Very Capricorn, actually. Capricorns often have difficult childhoods. So it was classic difficult Capricorn childhood. And it's gotten better ever since, so that's good. But it was, I didn't feel like I fit in. I felt very different than other people. I felt like an outsider. And I think a lot of people who are kind of drawn to these sorts of topics, even, there's a natural sense of being the black sheep or the outsider, or, not fitting in with what other people, it was a little town in Alberta, Canada that I grew up in. So it had no, there was no esoteric topics. There was no, everything none of it came to me until I was out into the world on my own, which I think if I'd been shown the depths of astrology as like a child, I probably would have taken to it, but it wasn't around, right? Depends on what we're influenced. So yeah, it was a childhood, I think, also in Canada, and I lived in the winter areas of Canada then. Now I'm on the coast, but there was like a sense of being locked down in the winter too, right? You're like stuck in the house and you have to read and entertain yourself. And then we didn't have Netflix back then. there was video machines and you had to press the rewind button, and that was like, took forever. So it was a hard childhood.
Yeah. Well, do you know Corb Lund? I mean, everybody from Alberta ought to know Corb Lund. And if you don't, just go look right away. But I was up in Colorado for 7 years, and Corb Lund, he wrote a song about he tried to move his Toronto model girlfriend to a 1,000-acre ranch in Alberta.
Oh, how did that go?
She stayed for the summer, and when winter rolled in, she got out of there quick.
Yeah.
And it was like, there was a lot of heartbreak for him in that, because it was like, we made the cabin, we got firewood, and then... It's
really hard to romanticize winter. Like, it really is.
Yeah.
Once you've like discovered parts of the world that don't have winter, and then you go back to winter, it's really difficult to like reconcile that, I think, for most people.
Right. Unless you really want to be in a cabin reading books.
Yeah.
Where, and that's that, I was at 10,000 feet in Colorado, so I really related with the Hurtin' Albertan, Mr. Corblund, because because it was like that, at 10,000 feet in Colorado, it's 6 feet of snow, and and it's just nobody wants to come see you because it's dangerous, and you don't get out because it's dangerous, and so
everything's like a life or death situation. Like, you've got to be like really dressed warm, and you can't have any of your skin exposed because you might freeze something off. Like, it's no joke. Winter is no joke.
Right. If your snowmobile is idling in the wrong range, that's bad.
You better have that thing plugged in, or it's not going to start.
It's right. You have to, and then you have to have all the things you need to plug it in if you're off the grid, and it's like, so anything could start a chain of disaster in the winter.
Catastrophe
at any time.
I remember having to pull out, like, as a kid, when we'd drive anywhere on the highway, you'd have this big kit with you just in case the car broke down and you froze to death on the side of the road, which was not uncommon in climates like that. That's a lot to process when you're a kid, right? Like, it's not easy life.
The world wants to kill you, honey.
Yeah, dangerous out there in winter.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Right. Well, okay, so if people who are in chat, we're talking about we are going to be having Paisley Town on. She's going to be doing numerology. Hillary's going to stay with us. So we will be taking... Hillory, what kinds of astrology readings do you want to do for people tonight?
Well, as long as they have... Like, it's really helpful to me to have all the info, the birth date, time, and place, because then I can get an accurate chart of what's going on right now. And that's basically it. I guess if they have something specific they want me to look at quickly, and we'll probably keep it to a, I guess you'll keep an eye on the time, because sometimes you can get going, which might be not the appropriate in this format, no more than like 5 or 10 minutes or something like that, or maybe shorter.
5 or 10 is about what
is about do. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as long as, I'm willing to answer anything I can, as long as I have the chart to look at, which I'm very Capricorn, I'd like to see the chart so I can see what I'm looking at. Okay.
Yeah, since we've said that, we've had people put in the guys put in his number. So, and then Jeanette Dames will be here. So what we're going to do at the top of the hour is we're going to have Hillory and Paisley will do numerology, and Jeanette Dames will be doing angel therapy type readings, the types of readings that you've known for a bit, and it will be great. But before we do that, is there, in your practice of astrology this year, is there anything coming up for the year ahead that you've seen in particular that we haven't talked about yet?
I think that there's a Jupiter trine Neptune. I'm just moving to that right now. There's a really good kind of poetic energy between Jupiter and Neptune this year that I think poetic is maybe an understatement. But it's a trine between Jupiter and Scorpio and Neptune and Pisces. So it's very much like expanding our dream creating abilities and bringing our, like you with this book that you have to write, like it's helping you be inspired and focused and take what's in your mind and your imagination into reality, expanding on all that. So we're all able to tap into that this year. I think that's a very important, something to keep in mind, that this is the year that you really want to make the effort to bring it into reality. And especially with the North Node traveling through Leo, something that you may have been doing about 19 years ago is up again for review and possibly manifestation. So it might have been something you started and that you wanted to happen that didn't happen, like a dream that you had or something. And now it's up again. Like you can tap into that. And in a way you've already put some, like if you imagine the effort and the focus and the energetic kind of swirl that you make when you're trying to manifest something, that's been kind of put in escrow, like the whole Abraham Hicks idea. So something from 20 yeyears ago, 19 years ago, will have already built up some escrow. And now if you put some focus onto it, it could manifest very quickly and quite, the bigger your dreams, the better ultimately, because those energies are very, can be quite fantastical. So thinking big does pay off. And this could be the year that it definitely pays off for all of us.
Okay, so I have chills, but only because this is so funny. Because 19 years ago, do you know what I was doing? You'll never guess what I was doing. I was diving in a lake for a crashed UFO.
Get out.
I was diving in a lake for a crashed UFO.
Did you find anything?
I did, and I swam right the heck away from it as quick as possible.
Really?
and so what it was what I realized, like I thought, I was going to be the one to find proof, right? The people that were with me, we were going to be the ones to find proof. But I was like the main driving force of this. And then when I swam away, I realized that what I was doing was overcoming my fear.
Oh.
That the whole thing I was doing was learning to overcome my fear. So I don't know if I'm going to find a UFO or if I'm going to overcome my fear, but that's what was going on in 1998, 1999.
What was your fear that you were overcoming? Like the fear of confronting actual UFO?
Yeah.
Like aliens?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I've had some conscious experiences, where most of the time I couldn't move and I've had a bunch of other stuff that came up in regression, but I had never, like, of my own volition, gotten myself to go up to a spacecraft and had my own sort of, yep, this is real, you're looking right at it.
Right.
And when I had that, yep, this is real, you're looking right at it moment, and I was breathing oxygen, and I was 80 feet under the water, and it was the bottom of a lake, and there was a bunch of crap in it because it was July, and it was all getting like murky, and I'm looking through the murk, and my compass is spinning because of the electromagnetics. The only thing that I could do was go, oh my God. And I started breathing out my oxygen so fast that I was like, oh, I'm going to kill myself freaking out down here.
Oh, God. What a terrible way to go.
Right. So I just totally had a major, massive 80 foot below the surface of the water in murky waters looking at this thing going, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. And the guy I was with, he actually was so excited. He was the guy who put docks in this lake. And he had a barge with a crane on it. And he said, you got up to that thing, the compass started spinning, and then you turned around and you went in the exact opposite direction. What do you want to do? And I said, I can't. I just can't do this. And he said, okay. And he was, you want me to go do it? And I'm like, no, please don't go do it. Because I was like, what's he going to do? He doesn't know anything about this stuff.
Right.
But it was, so that was 19 years ago. Do you think that'll come up again, or do you think I'll get over my fear?
Well, do you have any desire? Does it keep coming up for you? Because usually the stuff that we'll have success with is something that never leaves, right? Like it keeps presenting itself in some way throughout your life. So is this something you still want to do?
Well, yeah, because that's why I'm on Spaced Out Radio, is that we talk about that stuff, and I write about that. I'm writing about that. I'm writing about the research I did before that point right now. So it could be that maybe it's the book, but maybe it's the book after. But man, it would be great now to be able to get myself, hopefully something not underwater, but to walk up to a downed UFO and be like, yep, there you are, and I'm not running away. that would be awesome.
So do you have like abduction experiences as well that you're like tapped into? Yeah.
I don't anymore, but I did.
No.
For a long time.
And does that scare you? Like, is that a fear that you face that you're like, or have you gotten over it kind of? I know people that have like serious PTSD because of stuff like that.
No, I did a lot of work. I did a lot of work on that, and that's what the research was about. I worked with Dr. John Mack at Harvard and did a lot of regressions and a lot of work. And so for me, it's like I've totally done the flooding thing, and except for consciously right in front of my face, which, 80 feet underwater, it's a little hard because if it's right in front of your face and you're kind of freaking out, you really do breathe down your oxygen really quickly.
Right. That's scary.
So but no, the only thing I really have left to do is like I'm walking into this and I'm walking into this for a reason. And then I know, okay, I have no fear whatsoever. But,
right.
Yeah.
Well, and they're still very much involved in all of this too. So, and do you have any fear about publishing your book?
No, I did. I already published one, and I did have fear about that one. And then I published it, and some people read it, and some people really liked it, and it was like, yeah. And the people I wrote about people from my hometown, and they were like, "You go, girl." I was like, they were going to say, "No, that never happened," and they were like, "Yeah, I remember that."
Oh, good. Oh, so you were supported. That's good.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. All right, we're going to have to go to break, but before we go and we come back with Hillory, who's going to do astrology, and Paisley and Jeanette. Hillory, how can people find you if they want a reading?
They can go to my website, which is HillorySkott.com, which is HILLORYSKOTT.com, or the Everyday Astrology podcast. I can be reached that way as well, or on Facebook, or there's Twitter. I'm just out there. You can find me.
Okay. All right. So we'll be back with Hillory right after these messages. Stay tuned, everybody. And hopefully we're going to get it so you can call in. We'll give the number out real soon.
Hey, space travelers. It's Joe Roop, your host of Spaced Out Saturdays. Come join me as we explore the realms of the paranormal, the esoteric, and everything in between every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. You know the truth is out there. Don't get caught sleepwalking. Come join Spaced Out Saturdays. That's every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, right here on spacedoutradio.com.
365 days a year, we're in the field, investigating UFO sightings, talking to alien abductees, and visiting secret military locations like Area 51. We're UFO Seekers, official partner of Spaced Out Radio. Follow our daily search for the truth at ufoseekers.com or like us on social media. Catch us on Spaced Out Radio every third Monday of the month as we discuss Area 51, UFOs, and more. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
From coast to coast to coast, Blacklight Uncharted is taking on the paranormal across Canada. From ghostly hauntings to the UFOs flying above in conjunction with MUFON Canada, we're closely investigating what's going on in the northern skies and checking out the apparitions that walk among us. Check out our videos right here at spacedoutradio.com. We want to know your thoughts, we want to hear your experiences, and we want you to share your stories. The answers are out there, and we intend to find them.
Would you like to become one of our space travelers? All you have to do is click on the Space Travelers icon at spacedoutradio.com. For only $5 a month, you can get access to some great prizes, as well as private monthly shows, newsletters, and a members-only section on our website. Become a space traveler today.
It's paranormal news at its finest. Welcome to The Encounter. At spacedoutradio.com, The Encounter online is SOR's trusted news source for everything weird and strange going on around the world. This is news editor Eric Markham. Our team of journalists are scouring the planet for those strange stories that rarely make the mainstream. No fear-mongering or fake news here. Head over to spacedoutradio.com and encounter The Encounter.
Want to learn more about aliens, cover-ups, conspiracies, cryptids, and the paranormal? All you have to do is tune in S4 as we take over Spaced Out Radio Night, starting at midnight Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern, each and every Saturday night, right after Spaced Out Saturdays. Hi there, this is Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal. Join me, Corey Ruiz, and friends as we discuss the hot topics of the night. It's fun, entertaining, and as dark as the night. Find us at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
There's a lot of strange going on in this world, and we can help you find out what's going on with you. Paranormal, cryptids, UFOs in the sky, aliens in your bedroom tickling your toes. We have the investigators you need to find out the answers you deserve. All you have to do is head to spacedoutradio.com. Your information is 100% confidential. The SOR Sightlines Report. It's free, and we're here to help.
Do you want to know what's really going on in your world? Do you have questions about who you can trust in the mainstream media? Then look no further than the Rebel Planet. Come get the straight answers right here at spacedoutradio.com. Join me, Jamie Sexton, creator of Rebel Planet News, as I fill you in on the stories behind the stories. All you truth seekers, be sure to tune in to Rebel Planet on spacedoutradio.com the third Thursday of every month.
Are you an experiencer? Have you had run-ins with strange creatures you can't explain? ETs, Dogman, Bigfoot, werewolves? They're enough to scare the daylights out of anyone. Hi there, I'm Butch Witkowski from your Cop. And on the last Monday of every month, you can listen to me and the host, Dave Scott, talk about the weird and the strange being reported on Spaced Out Radio. I'm going to bring my investigations and sources, you bring your experiences, and we'll figure out the rest together. Strange Days on Spaced Out Radio. Come tune us in at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you interested in advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Head to our website at spacedoutradio.com and click on our advertising tab. There, you will find an assortment of ways you can get your product out there with us, from radio commercials to banners and social media. Have a product you like our hosts to endorse? We can do that too. Visit spacedoutradio.com for more details.
Don't have time to listen to Spaced Out Radio Live? Wherever you are, the car, the office, the shower, or even if you're traveling, we're right here for you. Each Spaced Out Radio show can be found on iTunes, TuneIn, and on our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio Show. It's the perfect way for you to catch up on our shows. For more information, just head over to our website, spacedoutradio.com, and tune in to us today.
Looking for nighttime adventure? Old school radio that delves into everything out of the norm? Then check us out at Spaced Out Radio. This is Dave Scott. Every Monday through Friday, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, we're going to take you on a wild ride ranging from conspiracies to true crime and every ghost, alien, and Sasquatch story in between. We're always live, and we're always interactive with you. So join us at spacedoutradio.com, where together, we own the night.
The views and opinions expressed by tonight's guests and topic of discussion do not necessarily represent the official policy or position of Spaced Out Radio, Spaced Out Weekend, Spaced Out Radio Limited, its hosts, syndicated carriers, or anyone associated with this broadcast. Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. And hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag SpacedOutRadio. Now, back to Elizabeth Anglin and SOR.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Spaced Out Radio's Cosmic Passport. This is Psychic Sunday, and I am your host, Elizabeth Anglin. I am here with Jeanette Dames, Paisley Town, and Hillory Skott, and we are going to be doing readings live. Now, I am trying the old version of Skype tonight, and the old version usually will let me include new people in the group phone call. So I'm going to give you the number, 505-908-9558. If you've already friended me on Skype, it is Spirit for Peace. That's Spirit, F-O-R, Peace, P-E-A-C-E. So I will try to include you on our call if you call in. Now, if it doesn't work, I'll just say, hey, it's not working. Don't call 505-908-9558. But if you want to call in, we're going to try it for the first 15 minutes. And if it's working, then you guys who are on listening intently will know that it's working. So always, there's a level of experimentation to all of this radio stuff, you know, like mad scientist experimentation, sort of putting it out there, seeing what happens, seeing what sticks to the wall and what falls off. Anyway, before we get to that, I've got to do announcements. For everybody who's listening from around North America and the world, thank you for still listening after the first hour. Everybody at WQEE 99 Rock the Key in Noonan, Georgia, at spacedoutradio.com, on Spreaker, on the United Public Radio Network, and on the Fringe.fm. Thank you guys for coming back. Also, Ron BUMBLEFOOT, THAL, we love you, man. Thank you for making our music here. And if you are on Twitter, check us out at Spaced Out Radio. Give our Facebook page a like at Spaced Out Radio Show. And let's see what else. I just got a call in from Christopher, but it did not allow me to add him to the group. So I'm sorry, Christopher. I'm going to hang up on you. That being said, if you are on Facebook, go ahead and follow me at Elizabeth Anglin at Spaced Out at Cosmic Passport. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio. Tune us in on TuneIn. Download our shows from iTunes. We're also on RadioGuide.fm, TalkStream Live, and on Stitcher. And, of course, our website is spacedoutradio.com. If you want to take part in the show tonight, it looks like you're going to have to ask questions in the chat rooms again, and we will chat among ourselves. We do have the ability to do astrology sessions, but we do need your information, so you want to go ahead and put your numbers in the chat room so that we can get those to Miss Hillory Skott here tonight. Everybody who's listening, again, thank you, everybody at WQEE, UPRN, thefringe.fm, everybody on spacedoutradio.com. Thank you so much for listening tonight. Hey, I guess, I'm not sure what happened, but it looks like I might have lost my group call, so I'm going to go back to it. Oh no, I didn't lose them. They're just on hold. You're here, aren't you? Yay. Great. All right. And you're muted, so nobody heard you say you're here. So, oh well. All right.
But you can hear us.
I can hear you just fine. Now you're not muted. Okay, so the guy who isn't he from Windsor too, Paisley? You're from Windsor.
No, he's from Southern Ontario, I believe. I'm trying to remember. It's been many months since I've chatted with the guy.
Okay.
Maybe we'll ask him in the chat room to type in the city that he's in. I think he's in like London or Hamilton, somewhere Southern Ontario.
Windsor is not Southern Ontario?
Windsor's actually so south that it's south of Detroit.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
If you look on the map, it's the most southern part of Canada.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You can't go lower than Windsor. Yeah. Oh, he's from Kitchener. So that's Kitchener's near Waterloo, Cambridge area. So it's south of Toronto, between Toronto and Windsor.
Okay.
The guy's from Kitchener.
He's from Kitchener. Okay. Well, cool. All right. He put in his numbers, and I'm trying to find them. Yes.
I have them here. I've got them.
You've got them. Okay.
I do. I have his number.
You have his number. But I think it's also for Hillory, too. So is the guy, is this also for Hillory? And let us know.
I think so.
And Hillory, do you need me to type it in somewhere?
Yeah, do you want to maybe send it to me through how we did your information as well?
On Facebook?
On the chat that we were, or the group chat that we were in, and then I can enter.
Elizabeth, did you find it?
I did.
Because I can send it. Okay.
Yeah, if you'll send it, that would be great.
I will.
Now, if you are in one of the chat rooms, go ahead and type your questions in all caps, and we will get to your questions in the order that they come in. If you're in the SOR Space Travelers chat room, if you are in the Spreaker chat room, go ahead and type your questions in all caps. Let's see. Oh, and Vivian in the SOR chat room, I just want to let you know I'm here as well. If you have any question, let us know. Well, geez, oh peas, nobody's asking any questions yet. Of course, we have a 30-second delay. I'm sure they're all going to come in 30 seconds from what I just said. So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Since this is my show and it's all about me, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
This is for Jeanette. Guy across the street, whose name I will not mention. I'm just going to think at it. I'm just going to give the initial T. What's going on with that?
In regards to you?
Yeah.
Does he have a large stone fireplace?
Yeah, they've set up a fireplace across the street.
Okay. Has he asked you out? First of all, you guys have a pretty intense past life thing that you're trying to clear up.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't know. He's waiting for you to make some kind of a move.
Okay. That's problematic.
It doesn't look romantic. It looks more like he's really unsure.
Okay.
Of just if it's even, he doesn't want anything to be misconstrued, but he's sitting back twiddling his thumbs. That's the picture he's showing me.
Yeah. Okay. So it was actually Paul who brought this to my attention. It was either you or Paul in one of the other things, and I'm like, hey, what's going on with that? And so Paul has said, hey, you have a telepathic connection. And I was like, yeah, I'll see about that. And then today I'm in my shop working, and all of a sudden I see him and I hear him. He says, I'm on my way. I'll be there really, really soon. And then he pulls in like 5, maybe at most 10 minutes later. So he would have had to been on his way from wherever he was when I got that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the way. But I know that he just got married, so I'm like, okay, we can't do that. Because like, no, I can't do that. So it's just old energy.
Yeah, it is. But it does need to be cleared up. So there needs to be some conversations.
Okay. That's good to know.
And it's okay. It's the whole thing is okay. It shouldn't be stressful or weird or anything. He's just, she's there. We need to do something about this. I don't understand what it is.
Okay. So if I went over to him and said, hey, did you want to talk? He wouldn't go, what do you want, you weirdo?
Well, I wouldn't say, do you want to talk? I'd say, we're neighbors. Would you like to have some coffee?
Yeah, okay. I'll do that.
And just chat. Don't put it up that, do you want to talk about something?
Yeah.
Just let it evolve organically.
Okay. Well, yeah. I was not even paying attention. It was more like, yeah, he's across the street, and I look out my window, and then I was like, oh, I look out my front door in the summer, and it got to be this thing where I was looking out my front door, and then I realized he was looking back at me, and I was like, okay, he must think I'm looking at him, and I was just looking out my front door. So it's like, now it's kind of weird. It's like, I don't know. All right, well, that solves that. Next, who's got a question? Somebody in Spreaker. Dennis says coffee is a horrible word to use. It's become tarnished. So should I say whiskey or fireball, Dennis? That's what or some kind of...
Oh, you mean instead of would you like to have coffee?
Coffee. Yeah, it's a tarnished word. It's a terrible word. So I'm thinking whiskey is probably, or tequila. Dennis, make a suggestion.
Shots, dude.
Dude, you've been a neighbor for a while. You want to go do shots?
Shots of tequila will straighten anything out.
That's right.
For a while.
Yeah. You don't want to go too far, though. You got to just maintain that.
Yeah.
Just maintain it, because otherwise things could go wrong.
That's right. All right, so we have 3 excellent people here. The guy, do you have a specific question about anything? And if so, please put it in all caps. Vivian, do you have a specific question about anything? If so, please put it in all caps. The guy's question is, why is coffee bad now? That's not what I meant. I didn't mean that. Why is coffee bad now? Great question, Guy. I don't think we can astrologize that. Jeanette, do you have any questions for anybody?
I do have a question.
Okay.
And this is for, is it Hillory?
Yeah, Hillory, yep. Hi, Jeanette.
Hi.
Mm-hmm.
Is there, I was listening to part of your show, but I'm having troubles with my hard drive, so my computer randomly closes Windows, and with it goes the sound.
Oh,
so I was only able to get bits and pieces. So I was listening to some of the stuff about Virgo, but I'm an Aquarius. But what I'm asking right now is there anything going on energetically that can cause just random emotions, like PMS stuff, where you're so angry and you kind of know what it's about, but for all you women out there who've had the PMS, you don't want to be like that, but you still can't change it.
Right. Yeah, well, there's a whole whackload of planets in Pisces right now. And Pisces is totally ruled by water and emotions. So because of that, anybody, and I don't know your chart either, it depends on what you have in your chart and what's being activated. So you probably do, being an Aquarius, you probably do have some Pisces planets, like maybe Mercury in Pisces, so it would be just so you're tapping into the collective soup of emotional energy, which is exhausting, which is why actually,
it is exhausting.
Yeah, the tiredness kicks in, right? Where you just want to nap and you feel bitchy and cranky or sad. You could feel really sad too, because Pisces can be very emotional.
That's all part of it, right? But it all hit today.
Okay. I mean,
it was like a ton of bricks hit me over the head, and I could no longer speak to anyone.
Was it because we did actually, there was a trine between the moon and Pisces at that point in time. And then also there was an opposition between Saturn and the moon, which would bring in kind of a heavy, sad, just the heaviness. There's a real heaviness with Saturn too, and fearful things too. It can bring up fearful energy as well.
Okay.
There's fear and sadness and aware of aging comes in with Saturn energy, where you're oh my God, gravity is so relentless and heavy and constantly pulling on me. So stuff like that. But you definitely, obviously you're sensitive doing what you do. So you're probably very tapped into this huge stellium of planets in Pisces right now. I think that's probably what's going on.
I never stop to think that that's what it might be until I hear someone with your gift sharing that kind of information. And I go, oh my God, I should just sit back and just let it go, wait till it passes.
Right.
Which is kind of what I did. I just stopped communicating because I needed to have several hours to myself before I could be with all of you and be present.
Yeah, well, it does help, especially being sensitive. It helps, for me to, well, obviously I wouldn't be doing it, but there's some sort of comfort to know that, the planets are moving around and we are, just like the moon pulls the tides of the ocean, we're all kind of connected into this energetic soup. Yeah. So the sensitive ones especially feel all the little twists and turns and pushes and pulls.
Okay.
So it kind of helps, right? Just to know that, that's what's going on in the cosmos right now.
Something else that happened on Friday night, my dog who is a reincarnated knight from the Order of the Michaels in the 1400s, which he shared with me. I had no idea there was any such thing. His name is Michael.
Your dog? Your dog's named Michael?
Yeah.
Ah, I have a Miguel.
Well, I call him Miguel a lot.
Oh, that's funny.
It is. But he will go back and forth. I can tell when he wants to be playing the human role and when he wants to be playing the dog role. But Friday night, he got very sick and was almost projectile vomiting all night.
Oh, gosh.
It was, I was up all night cleaning this up. And then the next day, it was the other end. But then I talked to people yesterday, and 4 other people had their animals doing the same thing Friday night.
Interesting. Cats
and dogs. And so I was like, okay, is there something going on with our animals right now as well? And we couldn't find any seismic activity going on that would have upset them.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, with something like that, like the seismic stuff or some sort of earth event, animals tap into that. But there was a ton of squares going on Friday. So there was a lot of...
What does that mean?
Well, squares are when like planets meet in a relationship that's very complicated. So different parts going in different directions, different, like one part of you wants this and another part wants that, or even relationships where you just don't get each other because you both have completely different ways of doing things and being in the world. So there was a bunch of that kind of stress going on. But when your animals are sick like that, it's tied into your chart too, right? Like there was some stressor, probably I could see that in your chart where like maybe your 6th house was activated or something. So it could have been a coincidence or other people were actually having the same sorts of triggers, cause their, and how's your dog now? Is he okay?
He's fine. Yeah, he's completely fine.
That's lucky.
Hello?
I gave him some Pepto-Bismol and some white rice, and he's fine. Like nothing ever happened. He's mad at me today because I won't give him any human food treats today like he normally gets. Because I told him his tummy still has to,
adjust.
Has to have a day of rest. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that he's okay, and hopefully everyone else's dogs are okay. It's hard because they were really tapped into them, right? Like very much connected to what they go through. So hopefully he was just tapping into something weird, or he ate something weird, and it's all better now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh.
That's great. Hey, I have Christopher here. Christopher, can you hear the ladies talking?
Yep, now I can. That was weird.
Yeah, that's great, though. It's great you can hear them. Okay, so Christopher, do you have a question for anyone on the panel tonight?
Yeah, I wonder what my for next few months are going to be.
I would like to ask the astrologist. Since the last time I spoke with him.
Oh, Jeanette. He was just.
Yeah.
Can you hear each other?
No, I can't hear him.
Oh, okay. Okay, Christopher, what's your question? Jeanette can't hear you, so I'm not sure why. But what's your question, and I'll tell her.
Okay. Excuse me. What is my next few months going to bring for me? It's been really challenging for me. Now it looks like it's starting to look up.
Okay. Jeanette, Christopher wants to know what the next few months are going to bring for him. He says it's been very challenging for him, but he feels like it's looking up. Do you have any insight into that?
It does look like it's looking up. Some of the choices that you made last week specifically are going to just smooth everything out. But but remember that it's always a choice. And everything is always smoother if you just start every morning by asking your angels what you need to know today. And if you have any questions about how to proceed, just ask them, and then the signs will show up very quickly. But think about the decisions that you made last week, because that's what's going to determine what happens for you in the next couple of months. It's all good. It looks really good.
Okay, good. Good deal. Christopher, did you hear that?
No, it was just dead silence.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to let you get off the air. I'm going to hang up on you and let the ladies talk, because I thought you were in their call, so Skype is again being weird. But she said, yes, everything is going to be looking up for you, but you want to make sure that you talk to your angels and ask them for their guidance, but also give them thank yous. And just stay very clear about what it is that you want, and be very clear in asking for help and for guidance, and then giving thanks for those things.
Yes, I sure will. I'll call you after the show. I want to test a couple things out.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Christopher. Christopher is my IT guru, for those of you who don't know, and
right.
He does good work for me. So I'm going to hang up on him since we're not getting anything that we can't connect the two. We have questions from the Spreaker chat room. So I want to go back to the guy. Hey, Paisley, did you ever suss out what the guy's question was?
He didn't have a question,
Okay.
And he doesn't know his time of birth. Hillory, are you able to give him a little something?
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that. Let's just see here. I'm gonna do.
That's
so we're
a
gonna
technical
go
term. Something.
I think I can.
Oh, boy.
I understand this language intuitively, so I should be able to handle it. Here, let's see. Okay, so I'm like, I don't have the birth time, so we're kind of, it's not as specific as it could be if I had that information. And he didn't have any specific questions?
No, he didn't.
Nothing.
Sorry,
His
I'm
only
all
one
muted
was
when you're talking, so it takes me a second to unmute.
Okay.
He did not have a question. That's correct.
Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay. Here we go. I'm just pulling up the chart to have a look. So he's actually a Virgo. So this will give him, and he's got Mercury in Virgo. So this full moon coming up on the 1st will be a very potent moon for him. So any sort of projects or like anything that needs to be organized, lists need to be made, plans need to be made, like very orderly activities will be extremely beneficial to helping this project come from the imagination into reality. And being a Virgo, he should have a good grasp of what this energy actually is that he needs to use to make the reality come to be. So he's being supported in that. And then he's also got his Mars in Leo in the 5th house. So there's this, again, this could be conjecture because we don't have exact birth time. So it's possible that it's not in the 5th house, but it's still connecting to his own Mars right now. So the North Node is trying to help him be who he is in a very creative, artistic, self-expressive, maybe even like it's like some sort of performance or teaching or working with children. Performance is important too. Like with the Leo energy, finding a way that you can bring your heart out in your authentic self would be really important right now. And again, there's like, it's actually being activated right now for you. So if there's an opportunity around or something that has to do with you being who you really are in the world and sharing and expressing your creative self, that will like be extraordinarily supported now and through this new moon on the 1st. So I don't know, how long should I go?
Oh, that
Well,
sounds...
I just typed to to Craig to see if any of this resonates with him. So he'll be able to give us a little bit of feedback. He says, yes, bang on.
Okay, that's good.
Perfect.
That's
Wow,
always
that's
good
great.
to hear. And then he also has, like, if there's some sort of project where he is joining resources with someone else in some way, maybe for some sort of community thing or something where the resources of others will come in handy, where his talents and the talents of others join together. And Jupiter is going to be conjoining his own Jupiter in his chart, which is connected to Uranus in his chart. So it could be like a sudden lucky event. Also, even like lifetimes of sudden lucky events. Kind of, it just comes to me that they repeat themselves, this lucky thing that happens. It's happened many, many times, and it's going to happen again, and Jupiter is gonna kind of bring good things to you. Even like money. There could be a lot of money coming down the pipeline somehow.
Wow, he's gonna be so happy.
Yeah, it's quite fortunate.
He works about 8 days a week, something like that.
Oh, so he works a lot, 8 days a week, eh?
Well, I know he works a lot and he doesn't take days off, like sometimes for more than a month.
So he's a hard worker.
Yes.
So and there is like he has a North Node in Gemini, which means that like communication or using his like clever mind and wit and being able to actually get lots of projects on the go is important too. Like there's he's probably got a lot going on in his mind and a lot that needs to be expressed through him as a person. So he has the support right now for that. So it's lucky stuff, I would say.
Wow, he says this is fantastic.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
It's my pleasure.
So, Elizabeth, can we read people's birthdays on air instead of me writing them all out by hand and then me typing them by phone to Facebook,
we don't have,
through Skype, through chat, through...
As long as we don't have I'm not going to, if we have your full name, if you've given us your real name on, I really wouldn't want to do that to you. But like Kevin, we don't know who Kevin is, but he's June 8th, 1984 at 3:36. And he says he was born in hospital, which is very funny. I'm glad you weren't born in a barn.
Born in hospital.
Or born at the dump. That's where my parents said they got me from. That can scar you as an individual to be born at the dump. So it's June 8th, 1984 at 3:36 p.m. And he has a question: who and when am I going to marry?
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big one.
June 8th, 1984 at 3:36 or 6:33?
3:30.
What was it?
3:36.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the city he was born is San Angelo, Texas.
Oh, okay.
USA, San Angelo.
And who and when am I going to marry? Wow, that's
a big question here. We'll see. That's a bit specific for my special skills, but I can kind of see quite a bit because I have this whole chart here. So let's just see. It's likely that you would be drawn to an Aries character because of where your 7th house is set up, or Taurus. It's got that interception again. So when you did decide to marry someone, it could very likely be that sort of character. Let's just see here. Because of the where Uranus is traveling in your chart right now, it could possibly be that you meet someone like suddenly, unexpectedly this year, because it is in the house of relationships. So that's very possible. And it could be a person that's very unique and quirky and maybe even a little edgy and hard to pin down, like hard to get a commitment out of. But if you can be okay about not having a commitment and kind of flexible at first, then the commitment stuff could come later. But it could be one of those types of characters that even just the idea of naming what the relationship is could send them running. So being very careful to not tie anybody down or, get too possessive will be important, I think, for this relationship. And also being that you have a Libra moon, partnering is very important to you. And it looks like it has to do with really who you are in the world even, because it's right there in the 1st house. So your partnerships, not just relationships with like significant loved ones, but partnerships in general, business relationships, that sort of thing, one-on-one relationships is, I imagine, a very integral part of who you are in the world and like who you're meant to be. So wanting to know who you're going to marry makes a lot of sense because it's right there in their 1st house. It's quite important. So, but you do have Pluto there as well. So there's a likelihood that the person would be, or that you would be very intense about it. Like you could end up feeling very possessive or wanting to like nail it down. But there's lots of other parts of you that are quite flexible and not wanting to nail things down. So it can be confusing because parts of you are like really happy being, unattached and flexible, and you go your way, I'll go mine. Maybe we'll meet up, maybe we won't, like that sort of way of being, but then other parts of you are like, no, we're like, you're mine and I'm yours, and maybe let's carry vials of blood of each other around, or like it could be like very intense, even weird also. But also it's just a way of possessing another person. Feeling possessed by them makes Pluto energy feel good. So it's quite a mix that you've got to deal with there. It should be pretty interesting. I would assume the relationships that you do end up attracting to yourself. And likely having Libra in the first house, you're probably very attractive. Anybody that has Libra or Venus, those planets rising, are often very beautiful. Like Angelina Jolie has Venus in the first house, which is the ruler of Libra. So that's a nice thing to have good looks. So you've got that going for you, and probably very witty and charming and good with words. And yeah, I think that's kind of covering it. So I don't know exactly when you're going to marry this person, but you're definitely going to come in, very likely this year, somebody interesting will come forward. So,
do you know what I saw? Can I just say what I saw as you were saying that? This is the kind of person that you want to take up to a cliff top, and not throw them off, but you want to dance on the cliff top, because it seems like you're on the earth, but it seems like you're flying if you go up to the top of a cliff and dance on top of it, as long as it's a good strong one. So what I saw was like Sandia Peak has this excellent cliff top, which is at 10,000, 11,000 feet, and this is the kind of person who would, like, it's exciting. Like, there's a little bit of thrill seeker to the Uranus that I see coming in. And so as long as you're okay with some, adventure, like do things as adventures, then, that could work out very well. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's, like even the Aries energy, which is on the 7th house cusp, is they like adventure, thrill-seeking type activities too.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I saw when you were talking. I'm like, oh yeah, dancing on a cliff top.
Cool.
That'll be good. So.
And I kind of felt like Kevin was, he's talking about when am I going to meet someone and when am I going to marry them. Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel like he's using the word marriage, but for him, I felt like he could be strongly connected to another human being without like a marriage certificate. Like he'd be married to them without like a ceremony or, like something more organic.
Right. Something, because I too believe that, like, the whole institution, even the fact that we call it an institution, is that it's like an archetype of energy that when you decide to sign those documents, you're like tapping into this whole archetype of often very imbalanced energy. So there's so many different ways of having relationships these days that are much more balanced and unique, that have nothing to do with paperwork. So yeah, that I could see that too, with the kind of, especially the kind of characters that he may attract as well.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Hey, don't I have Venus in the first house? Come on, say yes.
Do you?
I don't know.
I don't know. I have to look.
I thought I did.
Maybe you do. Let's just see. I got you right here too, right? So we'll just have a look.
She'll say, no, it's 4th. That's only where ugly people are.
Yeah, you have a nice house, but that's as far as it goes. A really beautiful house. And you do have Venus. You have Venus and Mars there, so...
Yeah.
So
it makes me beautiful and accident prone all at the same time.
Like beautiful. Aquarius is a very quirky energy usually. There's like a real sense of unique style, or like things like that make you stand out in a very kind of fringe type, different kind of way. But also Venus there. And have you always been lucky with your looks? It's always been something that you were...
I have. My mother looked like Marilyn Monroe, and my dad was second cousin of Elvis, but better looking. I mean, I hit the genetic lottery. I can't.
Nice.
But I didn't do as well as my siblings did, but I did okay. So, it's all right.
Siblings are better looking than you?
I think my younger brother, what happened is we have my youngest full brother is 11 years younger. And when he came out, we all went, that's it. He's the beautiful one.
Wow.
We just sort of went, okay, we give up. We're not even going to try. But my sister has been like a model and an actress, and she still models. She does print ads, and she's 56, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
so it runs in the family. Good looks run in the family.
Yeah, my mom was
That's
absolutely.
nice.
My mom was actually absolutely stunning. She looked like, oh gosh, it's one of the old time actresses. Like even as she got older, her cheekbones got better and better. It was just like, oh gosh, you're killing me, Mom. You know.
Wow, that's nice. That's good genetics to have passed down.
Yeah. So
they probably all have Venus in the first house too.
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder about that. Okay, so what do we
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was just going to say,
I just want to pipe in. I mean, you guys were going at it there pretty good, but when the person was asking me about who he was going to marry, et cetera, my daughter has been asking me to check with other intuitives about a job she's applied for.
Oh, okay.
Her if the birthday is
I can look.
Yeah.
April 27th, 1985 at 7:40 a.m. in Seattle.
Okay, hold on a sec here. So 1985, April 14th, was it?
April 27th.
27th. Sorry, I didn't have my screen open. And then the time?
7:40 a.m.
Okay.
Jeanette, what's your daughter's name?
Ivy.
Ivy, okay. And just in the meantime, just for Hillory, Kevin J responded to us and said thank you. It seemed pretty accurate.
Oh, good. That's
awesome.
Good. So Ivy, and let's see. So she's applied for a job, and she wants to know.
And it's a job that probably hundreds of people have applied for.
Oh, that sucks. That's stressful.
It is. And she keeps asking me to look at it intuitively, and it's difficult for me because as a mom, I think, of course, she's the most qualified, and, you know, I can't be objective. Even going into my intuitive stuff and talking to angels, it's still difficult.
Yeah, for sure. So let's just see. I'm trying to see job stuff. There is stuff in like the house of work and routine and stuff like that activating that area of her chart right now. So I'm looking at the 6th house, and she's got Scorpio with Saturn there, and then she's also got Sagittarius and Uranus in that area. Both those planets are being activated. So is there some, so I would think with that kind of work, it could be like Scorpios can work in like trauma situations, like sometimes they can.
She has a degree in exercise, nutrition, and personal training from Bastyr.
Okay, so then that's the Sagittarian energy more than the Scorpio energy. Also, though, with the Scorpio, a lot of it would be transformation. Like what she's doing is helping people transform, right?
Very much, and that's the position. It's a health specialist position.
She could get it.
A big one.
She could get the position.
Okay.
She really could, like, because Jupiter is right now. I mean, it's a little tricky with the Saturn. So it could be tricky. It's definitely activating stuff that's difficult for her because maybe she really, really wants to get it, and so she's got like an opposition from her 12th house to her 6th house between Saturn and Mars, which might have even triggered why she went into what she went into, like the urge to transform and like kind of be in control of the self is coming through like her subconscious in a way. And it can cause it's a repression often of anger in some way that will fuel all this other activity. So there could be like where she has issues with her anger and not being able to tap into it like she needs to. So it might be activated right now, this whole like part of her psyche where she needs to tap into, allow herself to feel her power, I guess is a way to put it, because Mars is like our fire. So she might not normally easily access this energy for some, like when she was a little kid, because she's got a lot of Aries too. This happens a lot to Aries, is they're often very loud. They're really loud people. And so they get shushed all the time. So, and if they have other more like quieter stuff in their chart, then it can get put into the subconscious, like the loud parts of them. But the loud parts are who they really are, right? So that's big.
Every year the parent-teacher conferences, we really love her. She's very smart, but we can't get her to shut up.
Right. Yeah. And they're loud and
jobs, so
chatty.
she wouldn't be- yeah, very much.
So that like this stuff might be like activating for her right now. Like maybe she's having an opportunity to tap into her own power and to like, it's also like that same energy that's loud and kind of obnoxious is also very brave and trailblazing. It's like the same energy, right? So it might be that she's being called on to be brave and trailblazing in some way right now. It could definitely happen, like with the planets the way they are right now. But at the same time, when it happens, it could still be stressful, right? Like it'll be calling on her to tap into a lot of resources that she might have put away that she isn't using all the time anymore, if that makes any sense.
It does, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody getting anything intuitively?
Yeah. Well, this year, I'm not sure about this. When would this job be coming up? In the next month? She'll definitely have a new job before October. But I'm not sure about this one.
Hopefully if it's within a couple months. The application process closed on the 16th.
Okay.
Of February? Oh, so like after the eclipse.
Right after the eclipse. Yeah.
That's great. That could be promising too, actually. That she's like, because the eclipses like bring in change, right? So if she was applying for it all right around then, it could be very positive.
And in what I'm getting, it may be that they have like a 6-month trial period, and in October they'll say, "Yeah, you were great, you're staying."
Oh,
okay. So, because it seems like it's that every work transition is complete by October. So, that would, if it comes in April, like if she hears about it, it comes in April.
That would be a 6-month probation. Yeah,
that would be a 6-month probation. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And then I also got, because you were talking, there's also stuff for you in October. So, but good stuff.
For me?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Good stuff. So.
Cool. Thanks. Yep. Thanks, guys. All right.
You're welcome.
This show's all about me now, right?
It's all about Jeanette.
It has to be about Elizabeth. Tonight it's about Jeanette.
Yes. That's what we do here. We just call it Cosmic Passport, all about Jeanette.
Hey, we take turns every month.
We do.
It's been about you for 2 months, so it gets to be about me.
2 years. Okay. So, let's see. We have Kevin. Kevin has asked a question, and I did put his info into our chat box
I got
in
that.
Facebook.
I'm just putting it in right now. What was his question?
His question is, he's been feeling adrift for over a year now and not able to engage in any type of activity, whether it be social, creative, mental concentration, even physical activities in groups. He's not an antisocial person. He's usually very helpful and giving by nature, but he doesn't understand what's going on with him right now in terms of just not being able to focus and not being able to do what he used to do.
Sounds very Piscean or Neptunian. Like there's probably some sort of Neptune transit happening for him.
I think Netflix is a Neptunian plot because that sounds like
it is.
Netflix.
It is actually, because the Neptune has to do with like addiction and escapism and illusion. The movie industry is ruled by Neptune. So it definitely, because we can escape. I could probably escape into a good Netflix series, just like a heroin addict can escape into a heroin trip, right? Like,
yeah. And you have no idea how much time you lose. If you're binge watching something that has 9 seasons. I went all the way through not Babylon 5, but Deep Space Nine.
Oh, jeez.
I did that in like 2 weeks. I don't even want to, that was last year. I don't even want to talk about it, but yeah.
All those hours lost. Some good television. So do we know when Kevin, there we go. Warren, Ohio. That's what I was just asking.
Okay.
Thanks, Paisley. She sent that through.
Thank you, Paisley.
She must have gotten that. Okay. So
I knew you were going to ask.
You totally. I was right at that spot in the process. So, okay. Gosh, I'm always surprised how many of the same town there are in the United States.
Yeah.
I guess it's quite condensed over there. Okay. So his question is, why the hell is he got no energy and doesn't want to
Yeah, and will he get his focus back this year?
Yeah.
That's what he'd like.
Okay. Let's just see here. So he does have a lot of, he's got 12th house planets, which means like the 12th house of the chart is where you look to the subconscious. So often when we have planets there, it relates to past life information that we're bringing through into this life, like situations, karma, essentially. And also stuff that we can't integrate as children that for some reason they get shoved into the subconscious. So with Jupiter in the 12th house and with the sun in the 12th house, this stuff is all being activated right as we're speaking, like right now. Venus and Mercury and Neptune and the sun and Chiron are all in this part of the chart for him, activating this like inner dynamic that's always there because it's his birth chart that we're looking at. But with Jupiter there was probably a real and exuberant part of Kevin's character that wasn't acceptable to his family for some reason. So he had to take, like, really, Jupiter is our hope and our optimism and our philosophy and our know-it-all self and our belief in the future and adventure and language and all kinds of like very buoyant type ideas is from Jupiter. So when it gets stuck into the 12th house, it can be really hard on us as far as our like ability to bounce back, like, because we're not accessing the part of us that bounces back easily, which is the Jupiter energy. But it can also give you a really rich inner life. So tapping into the cosmos, into philosophies that are unusual or unknown or secret is very likely. Like even the stuff we're talking about, really. It's all, we're tapping into really pertinent, helpful information, but it's not mainstream. It's something that's kind of, nowadays it's a lot more mainstream than it ever was, but it's definitely unusual information. And the sun there too. So I imagine like there was something about you as a kid, or again, it could have come from another life. So if it doesn't resonate with your childhood, it might be something that you're pulling in, was that it wasn't acceptable. So you had to hide it. You had to hide your, having the Aquarian sun, you were probably unusual, rebellious. You had a quirky way about you or a quirky way to communicate, and also can be quite stubborn. But if it wasn't acceptable to your family, it would have got all put away. And so this is, I think, probably kind of like the cruxes of what you're dealing with right now on some level. And that actually can be, I think it's going to change very likely very soon. And it has something to do with you tapping into your creative self-expression. So again, I'm just looking at where your planet with your Saturn here. So again, there was like a repression of some sort of, you might have had a really controlling father, a really controlling mother, or been in military school or something that kept your true self-expression was definitely thwarted. That's the word that comes to mind, is there was a thwarting of who you really are when you were a child. It was probably really frustrating as well. But you have a Libra moon, so you're very able to be kind and tolerant and patient and, concerned about the other. So you might have been able to stuff that frustration, which we can see you did because of the planets that are in your 12th house. But now it's like having to activate it all so that you can express your authentic, true self. And right now, as we speak also, the North Node in Leo is right on top of I'm just looking, there's the North Node at 14 degrees. Yeah, it's basically right kind of on top of your own Mars in your chart. So I assume that you're going to be able to access the energy that you feel is lost. And I think what's happening is it's very Neptunian. You are going through a transit that is activating these sorts of wounded parts of yourself. And I think maybe having to put away all these important parts of your character as a child left you feeling the word, I'm thinking of the word impotent comes to mind, because it's where all your potency comes from, is the sun and Jupiter. So it could have left you just feeling like you don't have any like oomph or abilities or hope even. But if you can twist that around, you can actually tap into the cosmos, tap into the spirit world, tap into where all of your strength actually is, and use it to express your true creative self. which is trying to happen right now, I think. So that's my long-winded little look at the chart. Does anybody else have anything to say?
Well, I just got a picture of Austin Powers and when he lost his mojo, and it was like,
right.
Oh, but he never really loses his mojo. He just, it just appears that he loses his mojo.
Right, exactly.
So, and that's it. Anybody else? Jeanette? Yep.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I had muted you because I had to let my dog go outside.
Okay.
I put myself on mute. Yes, a lot was coming through right there. It was like just almost a huge download of a couple of things were going on, and I don't know where you've been hanging out or what you were doing. It's Kevin. Is that the name?
Yes. Correct name we have.
Yes. Okay. But you have absorbed a whole lot of energy from other people around you, and that's where a lot of the listlessness and the just tired and not caring is coming from. So while she was going through your chart, I would just had spirit coming in and your guardian angels to get that energy off of you, and it literally looked like they were lifting the dust, like the little Charlie Brown character Pigpen off of you. It's cool. Like it's been following you around. They also showed up some what we call master programs that we can bring back into our lives from things like that she was talking about as a child. And the big one of rejection came in. So if there's been some kind of rejection that looks like recently, I can't tell if it was a friendship, a romance, a job, or just somebody being mean to you at the grocery store. It wouldn't have had to be a big thing, but because you are so overloaded with other people's energy, it would have hit you like a ton of bricks, whether it was minimal or not. And so that we had to get that cleared off of you as well. So spirit came in and cleared all that energy really fast. It was like, it looked like a tornado running around you, pulling all of that magnetic energy off of you. You may be even more tired tonight when they when your angels and guides and spirit starts clearing that energy. It's like getting a massage. You need to run a lot of water through you and rest. So go ahead and do that. But if it starts to return or you don't feel better, just ask your guardian angels. And then you can just call them by that name. Guardian angel team, I need you to come in here and help to keep this energy clearing and moving it off of me. And it really can be that simple when you start to feel heavy and listless to ask them, because you're just absorbing it. If you don't shield when you get out into the universe,
right?
If you're in a car at a stoplight next to somebody in the car next to you who's angry and really spewing anger, or like maybe even on the phone or whatever, you'll pick all that up. And you get home and then you're just in a bad mood or you're tired and you don't have any idea why.
Okay. He's really prone to that too, with all his Pisces energy.
Okay, ladies, we're going to have to go to break really quick here, and we'll come back to Kevin, and we've got some people in the queue, so hang on for a break.
Hi there, this is Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and I want you to come on a nightly journey. Starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, every Monday through Friday, you can come hang out with me and the other space travelers. We have it all from Carl the Alien bouncing on by to those misfit gnomes causing havoc. It's 3 hours of fun and entertainment on those topics the mainstream really doesn't want to touch. Come get all paranormal with us at spacedoutradio.com, and together, my friends, along with our resident guitar god Bumblefoot, we own the night.
There's stories, then there's the truth. Do any of us really trust the news anymore? This is Jamie Sexton, owner of Rebel Planet News. The third Thursday of every month, I appear on spacedoutradio.com to bring you the truth you deserve, without mainstream media lies or alternative media fear-mongering. We'll get to the heart of the story and deliver the truth you're seeking. So come join us here for the Rebel Planet at spacedoutradio.com.
Not ready for bed on Saturday night? Right after Spaced Out Saturdays, hop on over to S4 with Corey Ruiz and me, Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal. With S4, there are no limits to what we try and uncover. From government conspiracies to helping clean up the paranormal, no topic is safe on S4. We get to the heart of the matter, of the subjects you want to learn more about. So tune in on S4 starting at midnight Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern, only on spacedoutradio.com.
Hi there, I'm Butch Witkowski, lead investigator with U4 Cop. On the final Monday of every month, you can listen to me and host Dave Scott on Spaced Out Radio's Strange Days. We're going to get to the heart of the matter when it comes to what's happening out there. People are seeing and experiencing things from ET contact to Bigfoot, and I want to hear about it. Your experiences are what we investigators need to help solve these unknown mysteries. So tune in at spacedoutradio.com to the final Monday of every month from Butch Wachowski's Strange Days.
This is Eric Markham, news editor for the Spaced Out Radio's The Encounter Online. We have put together a great team of writers and journalists from all over the world to bring you top-quality paranormal stories, from alien encounters to the latest conspiracies. You won't find any of that fake news here. True stories and top-notch reporting as we look to bring these experiences to the mainstream. The Encounter Online, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Do you want to know the truth? Do UFOs exist? Are aliens real? Are the governments hiding the biggest secret in history? We're UFO seekers, and we're on a hunt for the truth. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow along with us as we journey across the United States, visiting UFO hotspots and alien hotspots, trying to document the UFO phenomenon. Catch us on Spaced Out Radio every third Monday of the month as we discuss Area 51, UFOs, and more. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
There's a lot of strange going on in this world, and we can help you find out what's going on with you. Paranormal, cryptids, UFOs in the sky, aliens in your bedroom tickling your toes. We have the investigators you need to find out the answers you deserve. All you have to do is head to spacedoutradio.com. Your information is 100% confidential. The SOR Sightlines Report. It's free, and we're here to help.
Patrolling the Pacific Northwest, we are always on the lookout for the strange and unassuming stories that real people are experiencing. Hi, I'm Vincent Zunza from Pacific North Weird. Me and Alexandra Sullivan have teamed to bring to you those odd stories that never seem to make it into the mainstream. Stories so weird that will leave you scratching your head wondering, is this real? It's as real as it gets with Pacific North Weird. You can watch our videos right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Become more intimate and interactive with Spaced Out Radio. Join our Space Travelers Club with your new membership. For $5 a month, we'll provide you with special access to the website, monthly prize draws from books to psychic readings, along with monthly newsletter, private interviews, and more. Sign up today to be part of Spaced Out Radio's experience.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Don't have time to listen to Spaced Out Radio live? Wherever you are, the car, the office, the shower, or even if you're traveling, we're right here for you. Each Spaced Out Radio show can be found on iTunes, TuneIn, and on our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio Show. It's the perfect way for you to catch up on our shows. For more information, just head over to our website, spacedoutradio.com, and tune in to us today.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
We're lighting the void on Saturday nights on Spaced Out Radio. Hey, this is Joe Roop, and I'm hanging out in SOR headquarters every Saturday night, bringing you the latest news when it comes to the weird and strange. Bigfoot, occult, UFOs, ghosts, and everything in between, I got you covered. You can tune in to spacedoutradio.com starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern Time. Come travel into the void with us on Spaced Out Saturdays.
The views and opinions expressed by tonight's guests and topic of discussion do not necessarily represent the official policy or position of Spaced Out Radio. Spaced Out Weekend, Spaced Out Radio Limited, its hosts, syndicated carriers, or anyone associated with this broadcast. Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. And hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag SpacedOutRadio. Now, back to Elizabeth Anglin and SOR.
Hey y'all, we're back. This is your host Elizabeth Anglin coming to you from Cosmic Passport on Spaced Out Radio. This is Psychic Sunday. We're on with Hillory Skott, Jeanette Dames, and Paisley Town. And we are so happy that you stuck out the last 2 hours and are coming into the home stretch this evening, Sunday night, Cosmic Passport night. Tomorrow night, Dave Scott will be back. I believe he's going to be back with Butch Witkowski, which should be a good show. Saturday, Joe Roop will be back. And next Sunday, I'll be back again with Cosmic Passport. So we are on 7 nights a week here on spacedoutradio.com. Don't miss us. We'll miss you if you miss us. For all of you who are listening in from around North America, I want to welcome back everybody on WQEE 99 Rock the Key in Noonan, Georgia, spacedoutradio.com on Spreaker, on the United Public Radio Network, and on thefringe.fm. Thank you for listening. Also, we want to thank Ron Bumblefoot THAL, our guitar god, formerly of Guns N' Roses, currently of Art of Anarchy, for creating the music that makes Spaced Out Radio and Cosmic Passport rock. Thank you, Ron. If you check us out on Twitter, go to @SpacedOutRadio. Give our Facebook page a like at Spaced Out Radio on Facebook. You can follow me at Cosmic Passport with Elizabeth Anglin, or just Elizabeth Anglin. I'm the one in the cowboy hat. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio. Tune us in on TuneIn. Download our shows from iTunes. We are also on RadioGuide.fm, TalkStream Live, and on Stitcher. And of course, our website is spacedoutradio.com. If you want to take part in the show tonight, you'll have to sign into one of our chat rooms on Spreaker or on the chat room on Facebook at the SOR Space Travelers Club. We have got a lineup of readings to do here. Sandra is next in line. And Sandra, I'm not sure if you saw my note asking what your question was, because it took so long to get to you. We're really sorry.
Well, she did, and she said, really, there's no question, Elizabeth, but she did give her information without her birth time.
Okay. So can we do anything with that?
We did already.
Yay!
When you ran away, we were all over it.
Okay. So what do we know?
Practical. Well, what do we know? Okay, so that's a good question. There's so much information here. And she doesn't have any specific questions, hey?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Okay. So what stands out? Just trying to see if there's been any major movements over important points yet. Right now, actually, she has Jupiter right on top of Jupiter in her birth chart. So she, as in her birth chart, has Jupiter in Scorpio, and Jupiter is in Scorpio right now. So it's activating. It could be, it's in her second house, so it can have to do with money. She could actually be coming into money right now, or there's some sort of like expansion of money. And it could have to do with like her relationships, like one-on-one relationships. Like there's some sort of maybe a back and forth about what she needs to do within the relationship to expand her self-worth in relations to finances and all the things that make her feel worthy in the world. So it's expanding these issues in her own chart. Part of her is very practical and grounded and careful, methodical. And then another part is very wanting to get to the deep, dark roots of things. So there's kind of in her own psyche a bit of a push-pull situation possibly going, but in a lucky way, because Jupiter's there to kind of open things up and bring in new opportunities and new philosophies. So that stands out, the Jupiter conjunct Jupiter in her chart. She also has Mars about to cross into her third house.
It's about to cross into an area of her chart where she's got the Sun, Saturn, and Venus all together. So there's some sort of activating of this very important, like her identity connects very much to her sense of discipline and duty and self-worth in that sense. Could be something to do with a job in communications where her managerial and boss type skills are going to become very important. So that's all being activated right now too. Does anybody else have anything that they can see?
Wow, that was so fascinating. I'm going to ask Jeanette.
I don't know that I could follow that with anything. That was very thorough. Her energy to me looks very clean. Very on purpose.
Yeah, that's actually a very good way to put it, isn't it? Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it looks good. Like it looks like there's the support she needs for foundation laying. And it could be like there could be a sense, a real, like with Saturn energy, like even though good things are happening, you can feel burdened. There can be a sense of being burdened by responsibility.
What I'm getting, I'm just going to say it, Sandra, you're making some things a little too solid, significant, and real, and what that's translating for, what it looks like it's translating into is musculoskeletal stress in your upper shoulders and back. And so you may have even some joint pain with that. So, but what you want to do when you have a lot of Saturn is, because I'm Capricorn and I got Saturn stuff too, so I know this, is look at what you're making solid, significant, and real. You can be very focused, but sometimes you can be too focused in a way that makes your body just sort of kind of freeze up and tense up. And so
that's good advice.
Yeah, take the Piscean energy of flow and sort of apply that to your back and your musculoskeletal system, and go from there. But yeah, you are very focused. It's just don't make it physical, I guess, is what I'd say.
That makes a lot of sense, especially with Saturn, because it can translate into issues with skin or your skeleton or any of the structures of the body. So if you're too stressed out, that can happen. That's a good point.
Cool. Anybody else got anything?
Nope, not for me.
Okay. Are we going to do Lorna next?
Sure, we can do Lorna. I have her info in here as well.
Okay.
And there was a pretty amazing response from Kevin M. in the chat room, Elizabeth. Do you have it handy, or do you want me to find it?
I do. Yes, I'll read it while you look. Kevin M. says, "Thank you. You hit the nail on the head. Seriously, Hillory, you really pounded that point in. I feel so silly for not seeing what I've been feeling all of this time. I am perceived and so differently here." So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I'm just all into this ayahuasca conversation. That's probably not a good thing, but
there's an ayahuasca conversation?
Well, there's a hint of an ayahuasca conversation. You know, it's titillating. It's just like, here's a little bit of ayahuasca conversation from the guy. Because I think Paisley was like, "You have a Myers in Kitchener," and I'm like, "You have ayahuasca in Kitchener?" Anyway. Chat room.
I'm sure there is. There's probably ayahuasca all over Canada, I imagine. Yeah. We're open-minded like that.
Yeah.
I have friends that go up here every year for ceremonies because they can do it there.
Right. Yeah, it is legal to do it here, isn't it?
Yeah, and see us, your poor neighbors to the south, we're just like, "Ooh, you can get ayahuasca in Kitchener? How come?" You know, it's like, oh, I see.
Yeah.
Because it's
that would open up a whole nother conversation, because I would love to find out what you guys think of it. I've never done it. I've always been terrified too.
I'm not a puker, so that pretty much rules it out for me. I have friends that are shamanic practitioners, and they feel like, you know, their take on it is you really have to be guided through the process and the journey, because it brings up your biggest fears right in front of your face for you to work through them. And I'm not ready to have my biggest fears right in front of my face. Yeah. There usually they're very careful with the ceremony, right? There's people that are
Right.
holding space and watching what everybody's going through. And yeah, it's pretty big. I don't feel like, I think it might be too much for me, for what I need.
Yeah. Well, we have a ton of people here in Madrid who are ayahuasca shamans, but I can't say that. It seems more psychological than spiritual to me, given the conversations that I've had with them. They'd probably smack me in the head for saying it. Well, they'll say, they'll be like, okay, well, let's clear out your demons, but they haven't progressed in certain ways that I'm kind of a snob about. There's no clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience going on afterwards. They've just met their fears.
Right. I see what you mean.
So it's not like it's opening them up to to staying open. It's like they're open during ceremony, and then they come back and they're still relatively in mundane, secular reality. So
that's a good point, actually. I've noticed that too, that it's not, that when people do it, it's not like things don't seem to change that much. Like it can be like that fantastic. But I mean, I guess different people need to access different parts of themselves, right? So it could be very good for that, I imagine.
Yeah, good for that. Good for psychological reasons, absolutely. But so
I have Lorna's info here. If we want to do we want to do Lorna's chart?
Yeah.
Yeah, are we ready for that?
Yep.
Okay. Just see here. She has got, does she have any questions? Does anybody have questions from Lorna?
I couldn't find her questions. Lorna, if you're hearing this and you have a question, go ahead and type it in all caps. Did you find it, Paisley?
Yeah, her question was, she was talking about she related to the conversation between Jeanette and Hillory about emotional soup.
Oh, okay. Right. Mm-hmm. The Pisces stuff going on right now.
Yeah, she just wanted some clarification around that, or any advice you have.
Right. I can see right now that she has her moon is in do we have her birth time? Did we have her actual birth time?
8:55 p.m.
Yeah, we do. Okay, good. That's good. So I can tell right now she has her moon in the 12th house, which often will relate to an abandonment by the mother when she was quite little. Often it'll be like pre-verbal abandonment, so she couldn't even form words to try to explain how she felt abandoned in a way, and that's tapping into that Piscean Neptunian energy that's very confusing and wishy-washy and emotionally draining. So that's being activated for her right now, which can be difficult, especially because that placement of the moon in the chart can cause a feeling of like, if you allow yourself to start crying, you would never be able to stop crying. Like there's this sort of like well of like deep sort of fear and sadness that comes with it. So it's interesting. Did you just hear how like Skype came in and out? Like now my voice is louder. That's Skype, right? Is that okay? Should I keep talking? Should I keep looking at Lauren's chart? Okay. So that's being activated, but it's about to shift. Mars is about to go over top of your ascendant. So you're going to get a big, well, you have Saturn right there. So that might be activated. Hi, Jeanette. So that might be activated too when, I'm just trying to get the actual degrees here. So Saturn, 18 degrees. So when it actually does, Mars moves over Saturn, you're going to probably get a real sense of discipline. You'll be able to, it's going to activate like a part of you that can really get a lot of important things done. And I imagine on some way, like you've had a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, like feel kind of burdened by duty is a good way to put it, where it was like always your duty to be the one that like held strong and was very stoic and stuck it out. So that can be quite tricky, and that's all activated. That also helps you be able to manage this sort of emotional soup that you might be feeling as well. Except it could bring up fearful feelings. Saturn can be fearful, and fear of aging, fear of dying, fear of sadness, all the sad, difficult stuff. But if you tap into your ability to get things done and work, which you have a very, even maybe overdeveloped sense of that, you'll get rid of the kind of negative, fearful stuff of Saturn. And in your third house, you have your Mars there in Pisces, which is very different energy from the rest of your chart. So your oomph and that's what Mars is Piscean. So it's very flowy and ethereal and tapped into the cosmos, and perhaps it's in your third house, so it could be involved in writing or communicating maybe very kind of interesting ideas or otherworldly ideas. That's all being activated right now, that whole part of your chart with all the planets in Pisces. So if there's some sort of like emotional, if you can harvest something from all these emotions, like even inspiration or ideas, there could be some real interesting reality created from what you're going through right now. Does anyone else have anything?
Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was
Jeanette, did you have something?
Well, I wasn't tapped in because I got disconnected, so
okay.
No.
That's okay, that makes sense. June 1st is interesting because there's a strong sense, like it's interesting when you're talking about the 12th house and the mother abandonment thing, because June 1st is very, very independent soul.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, like my birthday is June 10th, so June 1st and June 10th birthday and June 19th birthday is exactly the same.
Right, the same vibration.
Yeah. And the name Lorna, if that's the correct birth name, is, another water number 7. So the birth date and the name come together with a strong sense of responsibility and independence.
Okay.
And so it makes sense that you'd be born into maybe a family that doesn't hear you or doesn't listen to you, or they're not there for you, that kind of thing. So I thought, that's interesting about the 12th house, because even the numerology confirms, like, you're basically on your own, baby, and your success is going to be your own success because you built yourself.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the only thing that came strongly for me. And that's strong sensitivity to everything.
Yes, I see that too with the Mars in Pisces. I can see it. And also the feeling of the duty is very strong, like the mythology, like methods and duty, something about that.
Yeah, like rituals and doing things the same with like structure and that kind of thing. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Which is good. So like, even though things are soupy and tired, like you're tired right now, if you can just kind of watch Netflix, you should be able to get through it.
And hang out with Elizabeth and Paisley.
Yeah. Yes. And I would just add one more thing. There's something that it feels like there's something that you're grieving that has gotten into your again, muscles, into your cells, your cell structure. And I'm not sure from when or what time. And it could be, again, something from long, long ago that you were grieving, that finally it's come up to clear. And grief can make you feel really, really tired and really, really spacey. So
and raw, and very raw, too.
And very, very emotional and very raw. So if you can drink a lot of water, breathe through it, like if you're feeling very emotional and feeling very raw, just do a lot of breathe through it, get a journal out, write down why, ask yourself a question. What is it that I know that I'm pretending not to know or denying that I know about this? And see what comes out and write it down. But you don't want to push it. It's just you want to say that and then let it go. And if something comes up, it's like, oh, right, yeah, this happened. Well, I'm crying about thus and such a thing, or I'm emotional about that. But it feels like your body is saying there's grief in there and it needs to come out. So
that makes sense too, with looking at the moon in the 12th house and Mars right on top of it right now, like just sort of firing up. That very likely is grief. Like any sort of abandonment or rejection creates a grief, right? Like a loss in us. So that makes a lot of sense that grief is coming up.
And you could be getting to acceptance so you can let it go, and instead of like we go through what I've seen in people, the pattern is like until you accept that it happened, it doesn't go away. Like you keep trying to bargain with it, or you keep getting angry, or you draw somebody else in to replay the situation. But when it's finally ready to clear out of your system, it's like it comes up for you to accept it, to see it, to say, thank you very much for showing me you, and now I can let you go. I don't need to do all these other things to try to make it never have happened.
Right.
Because, we wish we could make those things never happen, but we can't go back in time and undo them. We can just look at them and go, okay. Yeah, all right, I can let you go. So,
right.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Anybody else? Who's it? Paisley?
Now,
yeah, I've lost my mind. Can you find it for me? Who's next? Is it Vivian? I think it's Vivian.
It is Vivian, and I don't have her information, but I think somebody has it.
I have Vivian's stuff here. I have a chart.
Okay.
Perfect.
For Vivian. Do we have any questions for Vivian?
Well, Vivian's going through a lot right now. She didn't ask any direct question that I can see. I'm just going to double check to see if she came back in to say something. But she's been kind of on top of what she's going through. So why don't you just start talking and see what we get?
Okay. One thing that stands out when I kind of give the overview of Vivian's chart is that she does have a lot of squares in her own chart. So squares are like difficult. So when I'm looking at a chart, the planets are all in different places and they connect to each other in relationship. And we get squares or oppositions or trines, sextiles. These are all like different archetypes of information. So with squares, it's a soul that's here to like do a lot of growing. There's a lot of friction created within the psyche and the circumstances of the life to make sure that growth keeps happening and happening and happening. So with all that energy, I would imagine that there's a lot of like force behind the need to evolve and overcome obstacles. So I see that. I also see that in her 9th house, she's got the Sun and Mercury in Pisces. So right now we have all these planets in Pisces. So it's activating her own very strongly Piscean energy right now. So she's probably feeling that emotional, overwhelmed feeling, being confused and tired, and again, tapped into, because the Pisces energy is so sensitive, it picks up everything in the environment. It picks up other people's feelings. It picks up collective events that are happening. So if there's an earthquake somewhere or some sort of tragedy, like a mass shooting or something like that, anybody that has Pisces in their chart can actually feel the emotional trauma of these sorts of situations. So that can really make life difficult, especially if you haven't learned to do your own boundary setting and things like that. So like with the Virgo moon coming up here on the 1st, it would be really good time for Vivian to like be very careful about what her body needs and what her, what routines she needs to do to keep her everything stable and balanced, and probably fit in hot baths with essential oils to nurture the Pisces energy, and maybe like yoga classes or Pilates or something to help build the structure that she needs to be strong enough to like process all the information that she has to process. So yeah, does anybody else have anything to say?
That's really interesting. Yeah. What do you have, Jeanette?
While you're speaking, a relationship that needs healing just keeps popping up in front of me for her hugely.
Oh, okay.
It looks like it's been niggling for a long time, and a simple I didn't understand, or I didn't know, or I wasn't aware. Some really generic statement that just shows compassion can open up the door, and it will heal very quickly. But whatever that is that's been going on now is a really good time to mend it before it's gone completely.
So I know what that relationship is, and you're right. You're pretty much right on the money to what I would say, but I've already read for Vivian. But you know what that sounds like to me, Vivian, is try again with a compassionate action. Try again. Don't take no for an answer. Try again with a compassionate action. And as you did before, the doorway opened up a little bit and then it closed again. And then, but I'm really getting what Jeanette is saying is a try again with a compassionate action, or just try again. It is a compassionate action, and see what comes out of it. Don't take no for an answer. We know he's a real tough guy, but come on, that's it. Try again.
Whatever. There's compassion on the other side and a desire to heal it as well. Just the vulnerability in admitting that is a little bit high right now.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would follow with what I know as well. So, yeah. Okay.
It's safe. I guess it's important for Vivian to know that it's safe.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say it's safe, but you're tough enough too. You are tough enough. So, okay. Who else do we have? Paisley, what do we got going on? Paisley is indispensable. Paisley.
You're so funny.
I was like, is Paisley running the role of producer tonight?
She is.
Sure.
She is, and she is the perfect person for that job.
So a question for Hillory. I guess we can all tag team on whoever we're reading for, but it's Karen S. And her birthday I sent to you in a private message. She's born in San Angelo, Texas at 6:45 a.m.
Okay, hold on a sec. I got everything almost but the town here.
Okay, perfect.
Paisley, no. She has no question.
No.
Just
no
info.
question?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I don't know if it's just because I'm writing down, but Kevin, the first Kevin we did, Kevin J, was San Angelo, Texas, and Karen is San Angelo, Texas. So
that's weird, isn't it?
It just makes me feel like they know each other.
Or they should.
Since they're both in the chat room.
All right. So what's the age difference, and do they know each other? And
yeah,
should they go out for tequila?
And they know each other.
Oh, okay.
No, and you know what? I feel like they do have a strong connection, regardless of age or background or whatever. Like, we're often meant to connect with people that aren't our age or that aren't our background or that aren't our religion or that aren't our, because of past life stuff and because of like the strong connections that we have and our purpose here, right? So
their birthdays are only 2 days apart too, which is interesting. So they're very similar characters.
Numerology, they're quite different. Yeah. Okay, go for it, Hillory.
Just that they're both Gemini, right? So they're both their birthdays are close together, and they're from San Angelo, Texas, and they're both Gemini. So it is an odd little coincidence, I think.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
So we have her info here. So let's see here. Pisces. So it's important right now for Karen, like, she has Pisces at the top of the chart in the 10th house, which is the part of the chart that we look to see who we are in the world, like who we're meant to be and how the world views us and sees us. So you have the moon and Jupiter together in the 9th house coming up to that. So your philosophies and your emotional, there's like a uniqueness to your philosophies, and your emotional expression is probably very, maybe even exaggerated comes to mind, but you're very tuned into your emotional feelings. And somehow this information, like all the Pisces energy right now, is right at the top of your chart. So you're very tapped into kind of who you're supposed to be in the world right now. You're getting a good, I'm sure you can see who that person is. Like all the planets are lined up there highlighting this. The one thing that might be tricky about it is that you have Saturn in the opposite of all of this. So there's like a push-pull situation that makes you feel like, oh, maybe I can't because of this responsibility or that duty, or you don't want to take it on because of this other thing that could very likely be related to family in some way. Your roots, or even like your roots, like your psychological roots, the roots of your family, that might be some sort of hindrance to you, or even a past life hindrance that you allow. You don't have to make it. It doesn't have to be a hindrance, but it's like kind of embedded, like a psychological, hang up, a sabotaging thing that you might do. And again, your personality, you have your sun in the 12th house, which is something about who you were in your family wasn't acceptable. So you had to take a large part of your character and hide it away because it wasn't acceptable. But this same part is what taps you into the cosmos. It makes you very intuitive and like very clever and able to have a way with words and communications. There's some sort of special thing about you that allows that to happen. So if you can see that it's not necessarily, you don't have to sabotage your progress. You can use that same energy and turn it into discipline and focus and persistence and laying a solid foundation. And that's what comes up. Anybody else?
Jeanette, I'll let you go first.
The only thing that I'm seeing is a need for more movement, and I see swimming specifically. So I don't know what there is about the water that's important to her right now, but there's definitely a need for her body needs some movement.
Cool.
That's all they're telling me. That's all I'm getting. So
it makes sense with the Pisces energy because Pisces is ruled by water, so it can be very soothing, very soothing to people when they're having stuff go on with the Pisces energy, which she definitely is.
Cool. Okay. That's awesome. So interestingly enough, in the last, let's say maybe 12 years, I've only run into 2 people, and I do sometimes I do 30, 40 readings in one evening. So I do lots of readings.
Oh my God.
Not every day, but I've often done that at parties and stuff where you're just doing 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, but you're there for 7 hours. So it's a lot of 10-minute readings. So with Karen, the name Karen is a 6. The day that she's born is a 6. The month that she's born is a 6. The year that she's born is a 6. And when I add her birthday together, it's a 9. So all of those numbers are all air numbers. So people with air numbers are really generous, compassionate, empathetic, sensitive, in tune with other people, almost to the point where the sensitivity to like people and nature and animals and plants is so significant that if you were to sit next to someone, let's say at a wedding reception, and they had an illness, if you sat too close to them, you would pick up their illness. Like very sensitive person to have that much air. And most people that are air, they love to dance and perform and act and sing, and they're sitting around the campfire singing Kumbaya. They're playing the guitar. They're weaving like little daisy necklaces. So it's funny that you're talking about movement because so someone with this kind of air birthday would benefit immensely from dancing.
That
more
even with
so
the
than
Pisces too.
Yeah, more so than like going to the gym and pumping weights. Like they might pump weights for like more like fitness, but it's the dancing and it's the expression and the creativity and the art. But I would say like artist, healer, huge for this birthday. And it's a pretty rare birthday to have all air, like in every aspect there. And so in many ways it would be really different from the Kevin J birthday, the June 8th birthday, because June 8th would be someone who keeps more busy, doesn't sit still as much. He might go back and forth from like sitting still and keeping busy. But the air birthday that Karen has is more like, I would say like more like a hippie. And Kevin would be like more busy, more focused, more social, have a lot more drive, a lot more motivation, like gets things more done. Not that the Karen would be lazy, but do you know what I mean? Like Karen would be like, you know what, if it doesn't get done today, it'll get done tomorrow. It's all good. Just hug me and and dance with me. Like feed me and let me cook for you and let me rub your feet.
Oh, that's so interesting because like she has a lot of Taurus like she has Venus and Mercury in Taurus. And those like that, and he has those same placements in Gemini. So much more movement and activity, whereas Taurus can be very, like a bull, sniffing the clover, relaxing, enjoying, sensual pleasures. And, like Ferdinand. So it is you're right. They do have very different, even astrologically, they have totally different energies besides that they're both Geminis.
Yes, all 4 of them are Geminis, yeah.
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah.
Good one.
All 4 of them?
I say that because I'm a Gemini.
Right. Didn't we get a couple more Geminis too? We've had that's interesting. Yeah, all the Geminian energy.
Mm-hmm. And earlier on when we were doing Kevin M., the other Kevin, his birthday had a lot of information that was really similar to Elizabeth Anglin.
Really?
Interesting. Yeah, because Elizabeth, you're fire and water, right? Quite a bit of fire, quite a bit of water.
Yep.
It was like I remember your birthday. So, so Kevin M., his energy is similar to yours in that it's like black and white, right and wrong. I'm gonna send him a private email or connect with him on Facebook or something because I have more information for him, but it doesn't need to be on the air.
The way people who really know me they call that Mad Dog Buddha. Most of the time I'm Buddha, but if you really make me mad, I'm Mad Dog. So
I've seen your poetry, so I believe you.
Yeah, exactly. We should have a poetry reading.
We should have a poetry reading. That would be fun.
We'll have... non-pornographic poetry, good poetry. We will read it on air, given a producer who is producer for tonight is Paisley, by the way. Producer OK and myself, editor OK. So feel free to PM me poetry or find me on Facebook at Elizabeth Anglin and send me your poetry. But do not send me any poetry that's just going to make me go, oh, I have to close my eyes. This is so wrong. And you know who you are. The people I'm telling this to, you know who you are, who might do that. So, yeah, let's do it. Next time you're on, Paisley, next end of the month.
Okay.
Or next time
Okay,
you're on.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. Who do we have next?
Yeah, so I have one more person. The person would like to be identified as using the name Dawn. So I sent the private information to Hillory.
Okay, I just got that. I'm just having
Sure. Okay. So in the meantime, because I know the birthday, I can talk a little bit for Dawn.
Yeah, that's good.
Using the name Dawn as opposed to the birth name, which is completely opposite. I'm just going to double check the birth name, the numbers. Yeah. So the birth name is a 2, and the name Dawn is a 1. And in numerology, the 1 and the 2 are the only 2 numbers out of 1 through 9 that are exactly opposing each other. So being born with a 2 name and using a 1 name, if that makes sense, if you're following me, it just means you have more life lessons to learn. Like you have more homework to do in this lifetime by using the 1 name. And it could be just using it just in a chat room, you know what I mean? Like it could be just using that name, but yeah, it gives more responsibility of independence. And so the 2 is like teamwork, social, busy, fun, passionate, kind of chaotic and crazy. And the 1 is like structured, librarian, quiet, like I wouldn't say antisocial, but has the ability to pull back and just take responsibility quietly. Yeah, not as fun. 1 is not as fun.
It's so interesting how the numerology and the astrology just sort of like confirm each other.
I know, it's science, baby.
Yes, it's so science.
How do you figure out what your name number is?
So Jeanette, are you JeAnette?
Yes.
Okay, so after Dawn, if we have time, I'll do your information. Okay.
So I have all Dawn's info here too. Do you want me to give a little whirl?
Yes, please.
Okay. So Dawn is a Capricorn. So she's actually going to be experiencing Saturn is traveling through Capricorn right now, and that's the ruling planet of Capricorn. And it can cause a lot of stress in the sense that, like, the shitty stuff about Saturn is it can make you fearful, it can make you sad. Like sometimes it'll be like grief will come up with Saturn stuff. So it's sitting on top of your Mercury right now, and it's activating. I have the exact same stuff in my own chart, the same mix of planets. And what it created for me was like a real, like grief. Grief was a big thing that was coming up for me with this energy. So that could be, I mean, you might be experiencing it differently, but the feelings of grief or sadness, some sort of heavy duty loss something that can't be replaced, which is why grief is usually something that comes up. Or you could use the Saturn energy and turn it into some sort of self-discipline that will transform things for you. There could be a real, like an ability to get a hold of the roots of the problem and make a new foundation that's very solid. But also likely it's bringing up stuff that's quite complicated and heavy, oftentimes from like even past life stuff that you're dealing with. So it could be heavy right now is what I'm kind of seeing. But there's also a lot of hope for the ability to transform it. So even though it might be heavy, it's stuff that you're accessing so that you can transform it and release those sorts of things from your energy systems. And you're a Capricorn, and you have Mercury in Capricorn, which is very grounded and likes things to be very, likes to have the 5-year plan laid out and know the routines and the structures that you need to get where you're going. But then you also have a moon in Aries, which is very different energy than the Capricorn energy. In fact, it squares the Capricorn energy. So part of you has this way of doing things and is concerned about reputation and your place in the world. And another part is like, screw all y'all, because I'm doing it my way. And so there's this, like, you can be like part of your own problem some of the time, which can be really tricky to deal with, because the fiery energy, you know, it wants to do what it wants to do. It wants to speak out about what it wants to speak out about and go whatever direction it wants to go. Very different than the Capricorn energy, which is also bossy and wants to do its own thing, but in a more traditional and laid out kind of way. So there's that kind of stuff going on for you too right now. So it's quite interesting. There should be, with this new moon on Thursday, it'll give you an opportunity to really get sorted on the details that you need to move forward in the ways that you need to move forward. And I imagine there's been lots of transformation going on for you with your self-esteem and relationships and all that sort of thing in the past few years, probably since about 2008 is when it all really started kicking in. So yeah, lots is going on, and it could be heavy, but also very productive. So that's good. Anybody else?
I'm just going to say that Dawn was commenting about the grief. Yes, absolutely. Okay. And we're just waiting to hear back about the rest of it. But that felt to me like it was really accurate. And her birthday that she gave, the month and the day, is pretty identical to Elizabeth's birthday, the month and the day. The years are slightly different, but yeah, same kind of similar energy. Did you feel that too, Liz, when you heard Hillory?
Yeah, I did. I was like, well, is she talking to me or is she talking to Dawn?
Because Dawn's birthday is the 2nd, and Elizabeth's birthday is the 11th. 1 + 1 is 2. So, the January 2nd and January 11th, it's again like the same day, like the same energy, just like the June 1st and the June 10th with Lorna and myself.
Right. Wow. There's definitely similarities, like, well, especially, you know, they're both Capricorns. They both have Mercury in Capricorn. The moons are quite different. Like the emotional nature would be quite different, I think, probably.
Because of the year that they're born. So Dawn is going to be more sensitive.
Okay.
And Elizabeth's going to be more kick your butt.
More practical, kind of.
More mad dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
More mad dog. Well, and Dawn, she also has that Aries moon probably shocks people a lot of the time, because the Capricorn energy comes, and the Scorpio energy too, she's got Scorpio rising, comes across as very controlled, right? And so when her moon acts up, it could shock people. I had no idea that she had that like fiery stuff going on in there.
Right, Elizabeth?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
she looks so meek and mild, and then that happened. I didn't expect her to say anything at all. Man, you should have been at the paranormal conference when it was poor Eric Markham was sitting in between me and somebody else, and I was like, no. They were like, whoa. What just happened? Oh, well.
It's good to be able to stand up for yourself and to stand up for others and to, be able to do that, to have that strength, especially in your position.
Especially when people are mansplaining to you.
Oh.
Do not.
Especially then.
So. And the feedback from Dawn is, yes, very accurate. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I need to share one thing with her.
Okay.
Dawn, whatever looks like there's some major decision that you've been on the fence about, and because of the uncertainty about an outcome, and you have a couple of angels that are specifically hovering, trying to tell you, we've got this, go for it. So whatever's been weighing heavily on you, whether it's a decision or just something it's big, it's been heavy, you've just been unable to take action one way or another, you have a team holding you up and ready to go. So whatever you choose is supported, and they want you to just do it.
Nice.
Awesome.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, really good. Really good.
So Elizabeth, we're coming to a sad end already. I can't believe it's been 3 hours, but
I know.
How much time do we have left?
We have about 6 or 7 minutes to do readings, and then we got to close it up and get you guys. Everybody needs your information so they can get to you in a good way. You know who you are that I'm talking to about, not in a good way. But so, Hillory, if people want to get a session with you or follow up with you, how do they do that?
They can reach me through my website, which is HillorySkott.com, or they can reach me through the podcast too, which is the Everyday Astrology podcast, or Everyday Astrology on Facebook too. They can like my Facebook page and get a hold of me that way too if they want. And it's Hillory, Hillory Skott.
Okay.
Awesome.
And Paisley?
I'm at PaisleyTown.com. I'm on Twitter at Paisley411. I'm on Facebook at Paisley Town. That's me. I'm working out of Vancouver, Canada.
Me too.
And Jeanette?
I think the easiest way is River Angel Ranch. The website, riverangelranch.com, is that there's, just leave it at that. That's the fastest way.
And
I'm on Facebook too. If you want to friend me on Facebook, that's fine too. But
And you're in the U.S. You're in Washington State. Is that where you are now?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So all you Cascadian folks.
We're right there. We're practically in the same country.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm really close. I'm in Port Townsend, so I'm just a ferry ride away from Canada.
Oh nice. Yeah. I'm only like 8 kilometers from the border, actually, where I am.
Wow.
Yeah, so we are all really close. And there is a large group of people who want to take our part of the world and call it Cascadia and make it its own country.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a women's conference coming up here in April. You should come down.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty close, too. You're like, it'd be close enough to go. Yeah, I'll look into that. Maybe we can be in touch and I can get some details.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay. And in our last minute, somebody wanted us to do something for somebody who was famous, and I totally skipped over it.
Yeah, it was Dennis.
Okay.
He didn't give the name of the famous person. He gave their birthday and.
Oh, that's funny. We could do that. Do we have time?
We do. We have about 6 minutes.
6 minutes. Okay.
I don't have the information handy, Elizabeth. Do you have it?
No, I don't.
Because it was like from the first hour of the show, and Dennis was on briefly on the show, but then I don't know if he still is.
Oh, I've got it. Okay. This person was June 28th, 1971.
Okay.
Gonna say 12 p.m. GMT plus 2 hours in Pretoria, South Africa.
Okay, June. And then what was the... Can you give me the birth time again? 12
noon. They
okay,
said
noon.
12 noon in Pretoria, South Africa.
Okay. And I'm like, who is it?
I know. I'm like...
the only person that comes up is Charlize Theron?
Or the other guy that's an actor who is in... and I can't remember his name. Yeah, but I think she's around that age. Yeah,
she is around that age.
Yeah, she is around that age. I'll look her up.
Let's see.
Dennis is stalking Charlize Theron. No.
Okay, let's see. And Pretoria.
Mm-hmm. Nope, it's not her.
No?
Mm-mm.
How do you spell that one? Is it Pretoria or per?
Pretoria.
Okay. There it is. Okay. So, do they have any specific questions about this famous person?
No.
No?
Can you do
We're just going to have a look-see? We're just going to have a look-see. It's random. Yeah. Okay. Just waiting for the computer to send me through. I'm having a little bit of a... Yeah. Sorry, there seems to be a lag with my computer. Huh. Just a minute here. More technical difficulties.
It's the end of the show. Beginning of the show, end of the show.
Is this normal?
No, not the end of the show.
We've got a Cancer person with a Libra moon or a Virgo moon, and possibly a Libra rising if they've got the guessing of the birth date or birth time right.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me see here. But it's not letting me move through to the chart for some reason.
And it's probably because I guess we just shouldn't do it because we don't know who it is, and
it feels a little stalkerish to me.
It's a little stalkery, yeah, and it's probably we shouldn't
do it. Yeah, it's weird.
Sorry,
like,
Dennis.
It's not letting me move through for some reason. Like I can put the information in, but I'm not able to pull a chart. So maybe
their guides are blocking it.
It's very likely.
Yeah, they're
very likely.
It. But if you, I can tell you where to go. If you want to put the information in yourself, I go to astro.com. When I want to
find out.
Yeah, if you want to find out something, go to astro.com. Get yourself a free account.
Elizabeth, you're always telling people where to go.
I am. I'm like... And by the way, if you need to know where to go. Okay, so this is Cosmic Passport. I am the host, Elizabeth Anglin. Paisley Town, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
We are in our last 3 minutes. If there's anything that you want to tell anybody in the next minute, what is it?
I wanted to just quickly tell Jeanette something about her name. She's a 7. And this is like not knowing your birthday, so maybe next time we come on air, we'll do your numbers. So the name Jeanette is a 7. It's like successful, abundant, fast moving forward. I would say like you take all steps necessary and you take things, you move forward to success quickly because you slow down and take all the steps necessary to be successful. If it doesn't work, you review the steps and do it again. Like you are the resource person, You're a teacher and a student always. So even if you're just relaxing watching a movie, you're picking up details in the movie where you're learning and teaching yourself things so you can teach other people. Does that make sense
I'm more
for you?
taking notes.
And you should love to take notes. Earlier in the show,
I do.
We talked to somebody, and Hillory said something about writing things down. I think it might have been Craig to make lists and write things down. And I was like, oh my God, he's born on the 17th. That guy will never take notes. He'll record it on his phone. Like, he's too fast. But sevens usually like to take notes. So if you're born in July, or you're born on the 16th, or you're born on the 7th, those are the 7 numbers that like to record.
It's 130, 154.
No, but the name Jeanette is a 7.
Yeah, I know, but you were just saying if you were born, and that's birth.
People who are born in July will be a 7.
Oh.
I see.
Right. Okay. People born on the 16th will be a 7. People born on the 7th. So numbers that add up to 7. I'm talking to all of you, not just Jeanette. Yeah. Okay. So pretty organized and structured and very independent. Sometimes people with the name Jeanette have trouble partnering because they're super independent and they like to partner.
Oh, God.
And the spelling of your name is pretty unique. Like, most people with Jeanette don't spell it that way, but that's the way my mom spells her name too. So I got your number, Jeanette.
I guess you do.
All right, guys, it's the end of the show. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here, Hillory and Jeanette. Everybody on the chat rooms who asked questions, we wouldn't have a show without you. We'll be back next week. Thanks so much.